Hey, good morning. Welcome to Caffeine Corner. 3 eggs at breakfast. Moon of Hammy. Look, we got a special guest here today. Check this out. I mean, first of all, does
I
anybody
know.
recognize this guy? Do they even know who he is? They're like, who is this guy? Why is he on the show?
New YouTube, who dis?
They don't recognize. Yeah, they don't recognize me without the beard. It's Egghead.
Yeah, they
Egghead,
might recognize your voice.
Oh God. X-wings.
You.
No.
Let's find out. Let's see. Does everybody recognize who this person is? I mean, it's not like an infamous, or well, he's infamous for what he's done, I guess. If you consider like taking a shot collar to your testicles, something to be, infamous for. But I don't think. Yeah. Oh, they do. Yeah, a few people do know. So,
they recognize me.
Yeah. They recognize you. Yes, Egghead from Drunken Peasants, the person who gets, I guess, I was going to say sodomized, but that wasn't the word I was thinking of sadistic. There's a big
we're not that far yet,
Steve.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen things that happen to you. You guys are pretty.
How much longer until sodomy happens with that shot collar?
Yeah,
right. I don't want to think of that. I don't not want to think of that. I think that if that ever happened, someone would have to pay, I would say, top dollar for that.
Yeah, I love those guys. I really do, but they're so mean to you.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't consider it mean. Just funny banter back and forth sometimes.
Yeah, well, as long as you heal and you're not like permanently scarred, other than emotionally,
I'm fine.
I guess it's okay.
Oh, I'm fine. I know that they're always playing it up for the crowd.
As long as it's consensual and there's a mutual agreement, then I don't think there's an issue.
Exactly. Like when Jeff wanted my wife to spit on me.
Yeah. Then
you encouraged her to. That was your first interaction with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time you said that was the first time you said I was adorable on your stream. Jesus Christ! I was like, oh,
he's getting shot. Oh, it's because we watched you saw the
reaction
the trailer for
episode 8 of Star Wars.
The first new Star Wars, yeah. And you were looking at it did the panel scene and it showed those rocks and you were like, "Is that Yoda?"
Is that Yoda?
How did you? What made you think that was Yoda?
There was a tiny rock. There was a tiny rock on top of it. I thought the tiny rock on top of the pile of rocks was Yoda.
What do you think of Baby Yoda?
He's adorable.
Aww.
He's cute as ever. It just I think when he was, I don't think I ever went aw when someone was doing a forced choke, but then I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I mean, I saw the rock and I was like, I don't get it. But I think you're just being high as hell or something. I mean, because I've
never been high. I've never been high in my life.
Really? I have. I don't like
been.
it. It's been several years. I tried getting high when I was in LA. It didn't work. I tried getting some edibles not too long ago. It didn't work. I had a Rice Krispie with who was it? Brittany Simon, and it didn't work. So I kind of gave up. I'm gonna have to find some good strain if I go somewhere. Because I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work on me any longer.
Or just go to Canada where everything's legal up there.
Why is everybody pushing me to go to Canada?
Because it's better here.
It's like, look, you got healthcare up there, which I've got down here. You've got weed up. Wait, weed is legal up there now. So you got weed up there, lower prices, beautiful women, cheap housing. I mean, all these things. What the hell am I doing down here still? I don't know. I should be on my way. I'll move to Canada.
I should be moving up to Canada right now.
Yeah, come with us. What the hell,
just go
right?
buy one big honking chunk of land and just start a commune.
Yeah, well, I know a few people that if it wasn't in Canada, would probably go for something like that. But Canada, yeah. It's not as easy as you think for Americans to go to Canada and stay there for any long period of time.
I'm not saying I didn't say it was easy. I said it was easier.
Oh.
Comparatively, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and I probably agree with you, but
Comparatively.
comparatively speaking, how much easier do you think it actually is?
Just the amount of time you have to wait for paperwork.
Jesus.
So I think
That sounds a lot
Canada's
better.
got, Canada's got rollover paperwork that is like maximum 2 to like 6 months. America's
Oh,
like
wow.
7 years.
really. So you wait. So if somebody moved to
Yeah.
Canada from America, they could become either a citizen or at least a visa immigrant for in a matter of 6 months.
Not a citizen. No, you have to
Okay.
have to live in the country for X amount of time to become a citizen. But if you want to
Okay.
live in Canada on like a
On a visa.
visa or on like either working or with some kind of sponsorship, it's the rollover time for your paperwork is way less.
Interesting. I don't
Canada's
see me
just
going
way
to Canada,
better.
though. Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. I can't imagine me living in Canada.
There's one thing
I've only-
when I was traveling that I really liked that we don't have in Canada, and it's that the passenger in the car is allowed to have liquor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that is kind of
As long
cool,
as the
actually.
driver's not drinking, because in Canada you can't do that. And I'm like, I like this law better.
You're
Same
supposed
with
to
like
say
smoking
that
in bars.
you're supposed to say there's only real one reason to go to Canada, Chesh,
Is it
because that's where
snow?
you live. No, for you. People would have to move up
Aw.
there because of you. See?
That sounds like a
move for
terrible idea.
Cheshire.
Yeah,
Why would you-
no, right?
Just move for
Oh,
Cheshire.
God.
So, anyways, yeah, guys, this is kind of gonna be a little impromptu stuff. There's a couple things that we did want to talk about as far as terminologies where we want to get out of the way real quick. Then we got some actually a little more serious stuff to talk about. I should have put a trigger warning on. Kind of too late now, but we'll give you advance warning that some trigger stuff. But you want someone to do the list of things that we want to get out of the way first, Josh?
Yeah, do you want to do the list or you want me to do the list?
How about I just say them and you kind of describe them and stuff, and then Egg can see.
Okay.
We'll give Egg kind of a third party his evaluation of these things as well. Sound good?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, for sure.
I was
know, 'cause I
introduced
know-
to I was introduced to it last night.
Well, I mean,
It was like,
let's say
whoa.
I don't know if you've even heard some of these. Like for example, the first term we're going to talk about. I got to admit, I did not hear of this term before. I actually had to ask. I think I asked Chest what it was because I didn't know what it meant. And I'm one of those people, contrary to what people believe. If I don't know what something means, a lot of times it's too damn lazy to go Google it. I just will ask somebody, but I'm not ashamed to go. Yeah, I've never heard it before. I do that quite frequently with a lot of terms. By the way, that's how I've actually learned a lot of terms that I know now. But okay, so here's the word that we're going to tell you. Egg, ready? Oversubscribing. And we're not talking about in a fiscal sense. We're not. There's something when it comes to securities and exchanges. We're not talking about that. We're talking about as applies to YouTube. Oversubscribing.
Oversubscribing.
Okay, good. I wasn't the only one who didn't know this term. I don't feel bad now.
I don't think I've ever heard that term before because I know that many people can be subscribed to things, but I never heard of oversubscribing to anything.
I'm gonna ask God here real quick. God, have you ever heard this term? I know you're all knowing and omnipotent and omnibenevolent and all that omni crap, but did you ever hear this term before?
I've heard of subscribing and undersubscribed, which means the channel doesn't have enough subscribers.
But that's
compared to the content it's putting out. But if someone's oversubscribed, I don't know what the hell that would
it doesn't mean what you
mean.
think it means, like a majorly subscribed channel. So, anyways, Cheshire, tell us what this term actually is utilized for, because again, it was all news to me.
Oversubscribing is essentially when you're too invested in something to the point where it's like fanatical.
Fuck.
So when you subscribe to something and you're watching something on the regular, you're subscribed to it, you're invested into it. So when you're over-invested into something, you've oversubscribed to it. It's usually when people think or view, like Stan from the Eminem song was oversubscribed to Eminem. He viewed Eminem as part of his family, as somebody he looked up to, as somebody he had some kind of connection with. And yeah, we're personalities, and yeah, so we have connections to our audience, but when you oversubscribe, you're attributing more to that relationship and crossing boundaries that aren't reasonable to be crossed.
Yeah, I know, it makes sense.
Like Beyonce. Right.
Like if you put it in the context of what Sting said in Russians Love Their Children Too, Khrushchev said, "We will bury you. I don't subscribe to this point of view. Such an ignorant thing to do.
Yep.
That's heavy, dude. But yeah,
Wow.
no, the term actually makes sense, right? I maybe I have heard it in that context before. I don't remember, but it does make sense when you put yourself at giving too much principle of charity, too much. Even in the light of other things, you still, for some reason, have like almost a blind faith in them.
Sure,
Just
yeah.
FYI, if you could, hey, real quick, I gotta let you guys know. If you guys hear stuff in the background, people may know my mom is in the hospital. She's doing okay, from what I understand. But my daughter is. I'm contacting her a little bit, so if I have to leave all of a sudden, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, she seems to be okay and stable. They're going to run some tests on her. She couldn't breathe very well. But if you see me actually just leave, it's because I got to go take something else. Okay, that's obviously more important.
Yeah.
Okay, but go ahead, Chess. Sorry.
It essentially just means that it's taking the boundaries of like a creator and the people who watch them, and when you start blurring those lines of, now this person, you view this person as part of your family, or you view this person as, but in such a serious manner that it becomes detrimental to even
you're like
people
emotionally
that you're
invested in them to
fan
the
of.
point, right?
Where it's
I
to the
can
point
see
where it's
that.
dangerous. These are the kind of people who will like. It happened to who was it from Rooster Teeth, where they had moved, didn't tell anybody where they were living, but somebody showed up at their house with like a weapon. Not because they didn't like them, but because they did like them.
Wait, you showed up? Wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they showed up with a weapon.
You want to see
these
the
are the kind of
machete?
people like
It's
say,
real pretty.
You want to be friends?
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of thing, like, say somebody, let's use me as an example. If I get married and somebody really likes me, they could show up at my house with a weapon saying that she can't be married.
Oh my god.
Because they're truly invested.
I thought shotgun was the opposite. You show up with a weapon to make sure that she gets married.
Yeah.
Could be the other way. Yeah, could absolutely be both.
Here in the South, shotgun weddings.
Yeah.
And you start sort of imposing what you think they should do onto them, to the point where it's.
I know your mom pretty well by now. She's not going to care about weapons. She'll be like, just take her. Just go. Yeah. Go with God.
Take her.
Exactly.
I'm too busy.
I get my chair back.
Did you find a lovely boyfriend, Chef?
But I've seen
people do it, she prays every night that someone takes her away from her.
I get when people are loyal. I am loyal to my friends, right? And I will always give them the principle of charity and the benefit of the doubt, and I will go to bat for them to extremes, even to my own detriment. Always have, and I that's just the way I am. But there's times even where somebody who actually you really trust, violates that trust. We've all been there with relationships, right? We've all had girlfriends or boyfriends that we thought we could trust that ended up you couldn't, right? But you're at the time you're pretty confident that you could actually trust them, right? You're going to even be even certain at the time, but then things change. But I think oversubscribing would be more being than after those things start changing, and you're still holding on to that absolute certainty.
Usually oversubscribing has to do with someone that you don't have that kind of relationship,
that connection with. Okay, that makes sense.
And you never have had that, but you think that you do.
You feel like you do. Yeah, like you're part of their family. You have a connection with them, because we have a lot of interconnections online, right? Now, Cheshire is starting to get to the point where we're kind of like family in some cases. I love her to death. She's going to know me the rest of my life. We've already established this. That will not change. But yeah. But her personal life, if she's like, hey, Steve, I'm getting married tomorrow, I'm really like, oh my God, you can't do that. I'll hunt you down. That would be a little bit oversubscribed.
You can't do that to me. Yeah. It ends up being very, like, it's not really usually actually about the other person. It's just how you feel about the situation. So it's a selfish thing. It's about, you can't do that because I don't like it. Not because it's good for you, not because they care about the other person. They'll attribute it to that, but it's self-centered.
So, Egghead, what do you think about Cheshire getting married? Does it hurt you? Does it bother you if she does? I mean, again,
I'm already fucking married. What are you talking about?
People like Chester 17. She's not going to get married. What is wrong with you?
Exactly.
Chester has
17.
Chester has to find somebody that's good enough for her. First of all, that can take care of her. Second of all, that's as short as her. Third of all.
Which
so you're not myself.
Nobody's ever gonna marry me. Let's be real. Have you met me? What a terrible
We've all
idea
met
that
you.
would be.
Eventually.
I won't be surprised at some point down the line you will get married to someone.
Egghead, if we go to
bastard.
Seattle, will you hang out with us?
I would love to head to Seattle.
Aren't you? How far away from Seattle are you?
He's in
I'm in Dallas.
Oh, you're in Dallas. Why didn't you visit me when we were in Dallas?
I tried. I tried.
I didn't get a message from you.
Well, I was busy at work with my stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to be in Dallas again, I'm sure, this year, so probably. What, Josh?
I was telling Egghead that I needed to go to Dallas and crash Faithless Forum.
Yes. Do that.
You know what's funny is I actually got an invite to Faithless Forum, not to actually go to Faithless
You got
Forum.
an invite?
No. Listen to me. I got an invite to go be in the vicinity of Faithless Forum. Not
oh
to
my
actually
god! Listen, we'll have you here, but do not show up in our convention.
Yeah, I don't think
be in the facility, but not actually at the convention.
Should we go out there and protest about agnosticism?
And who did this invitation? Like, was it the Faceless Foreign People, or was it like Jim Majors or somebody else down in that vicinity?
It was somebody that wants to go hang out outside the building to kind of
just make everybody. We're gonna show up.
Stranger danger.
Make everybody uncomfortable.
That sounds like a case of stranger danger to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I get what they're trying to do, and I do really respect Telltale and Shannon Q, but how much effort they put into those things. I get it. I'm not trying to fault it anymore either. And there's nothing about them, but I still have a lot of bad taste with the original. Or was it the first year, or the second year? Faceless Forum, obviously.
It's a little bit clicky, and I think they know that. And so that's why I was joking.
Wait, a little? Wait,
like
a little?
A little bit clicky.
That's undersubscribed. That's understating. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot clicky.
Yeah.
I'm not in those clicks.
I'm trying to be
I'm
nice.
not a clicky person.
I'm trying to be nice.
Have you heard of Faithless Forum?
I don't think I've ever heard about Faithless Forum until Cheshire told me what it was. It was like, this is ought to be good. Just come to Dallas. The only time that she'll ever come to Dallas is to crash their party. I was like, this ought to be fun.
I just really don't think they would want me there, and I would just be there making everybody uncomfortable the whole time.
Like, hey, how's it going?
I know I would.
Hey.
But then again, you
remember me? You remember me?
When I went to the Atheist and Christian Book Club, I got to tell you, I have never felt more welcomed. Everybody there was so accommodating, so nice, so pleasant. I had people that I've never heard of, never met, come up to me and shake my hand, and they said, hey, you know what? You don't know me, but I've watched your stuff. I have the utmost respect for you. Love your content.
That's nice.
So glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Thank you. After it, they're like, this is the best one we've ever had. I guess Jim Hall did a straw poll and just kind of asked around. Everybody has said that was the best one I've ever had, and that beats out Richard Carrier and Aaron Raw. So
wait till they invite me.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, you never know. We got a super chat.
We also have a question. Double Mint Twin asked, is there a difference between oversubscribing and obsession and stalking, which I will get to after the super chat. And it's Helios for 5 said, Chesh needs to make a goblin religion that practices polygamy so that she can marry all of us at once and no one gets left out of the goblin love.
I'm cool with that.
I like it because I'm married to
Goblin
chat.
Queen.
She's community property, as she said before, and people got all that shit. So why not?
Oh, people got so butthurt.
So butthurt. Oh my God, there was so much butthurt on that. There's still butthurt on that.
Helios, do you really want to be the king of the Bog of Eternal Stench, though? Because that's what happens when you marry the Goblin Queen.
Are you saying that she smells like pot all the time?
No, it's a Labyrinth reference, Steve.
He reeks of reefer. Oh, okay. I've seen Labyrinth.
Who would be the Goblin King then? Who would be the Goblin King?
That's 82 Productions.
82 Productions is the Goblin King.
AT2 Productions, yeah.
All right, so I guess they're in the live chat. Everybody, before you answer that one question, everybody in the live chat wants to marry you, Chesh. Now, so you got your pick of the litter, man.
I'm married to the chat.
Polygamy.
They're gonna present a lot of rings then.
Okay.
Chat present a lot of rings to give to Chesh.
If oversubscribing was the same as like stalking, the answer is that you can oversubscribe to something without taking action. Stalking would be what's described when you start taking action on your oversubscribing. It doesn't have to be the action that you're taking, but it one leads to the other sort of situation. So like if you're oversubscribed to somebody, you're not necessarily taking any actions yet, but stalking could be an action that you're taking because you're oversubscribed to something.
Okay, so I won't mention specific names, I don't think, but people maybe can figure out who I'm talking about. So if somebody who claims to be a reporter injects themselves into every story where they think they're part of the story, and part of the experience of the entire story and intricately involved in that story, as if that could happen to them kind of thing, that would be oversubscribing.
Could be, yeah. Could be considered that. That sounds more of like somebody who doesn't... I'm actually not sure who you're referring to because it could be several. But somebody who claims to be a journalist but not a journalist, a reporter but not a reporter, that has a complete inability to speak truth no matter what happens. Yeah, I would say in that case, yeah, I would say that they're oversubscribing to and they're oversubscribing and they're ascribing things to be about them when it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
So this person is is oversubscribing in a way where they think that they're involved in these celebrities' lives when they aren't.
Okay. So we have established that nobody's married me. Okay, so at least we got that out of the way.
I'm the only married one here.
Hey, if you guys want to make offers, like, what are you offering?
I'm rentable.
To marry me? Like, what am I getting out of this deal?
Wait, why is it just you? Maybe they come with a dowry to me or something, you know?
Well, they could if they want to marry
what
you.
do you get for these two lovely people?
Trina Porter may offer me $1 or something to get married to her. I don't know.
A whole
Trina,
$1.
A dollar dowry, really?
We got
so what do you get? Who's marrying Steve? Like, who are you going to get for Steve, and who's going to get Chesh? Well, half the chat's going to get half.
Trina's going to offer her $10 probably. So I don't know.
The real question is who gets bull in the divorce?
Oh,
I am not property to be traded.
He's not just a piece
his
of
own
meat,
thing.
Chesh. Oh my God. You're so sexist, Chesh.
There'll be visitation rights.
Yeah.
And by the way, Chesh, we're not getting married to each other,
Steve?
so that doesn't count. The next one, come out sideways.
Oh, so what does it mean when somebody comes at you sideways? It means when somebody's not being direct with you, with whatever their criticism is. It means they're coming with things that aren't actually either direct criticism, or they're just coming at you with insults, or they're being accusatory. They haven't come at you straight. Straight also meaning honest. They're not coming at you in an honest manner, of a place of actual concern. They're coming at you sideways. It's tilted. Something's off about the way they're trying to talk to you or engage with you.
That makes sense, Egg?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
And I see that happen a lot. And just FYI, people, yes, any super chats, Cheshire gets a percentage of. So if you want to send her some money, that's how you do it. Super chats. And
you could also commission me for art.
Oh yeah, buy some artwork from her, people. Buy some artwork.
I want to see her art pieces.
Good work. I mean, I'm not being biased.
You could
She's a hell of an artist.
You could also just buy stuff I've already done too, if you want. That's an option. I can send you full copies of stuff that I've already completed.
Some of the dirty fan fiction she did of me and Mikey's pretty hot, actually.
Oh my!
Nobody sent me that yet. Don't lie.
I can fib.
Steve's a liar.
Boy, 2 pounds. I'm a liar.
I offer food and
I've seen it in my head.
Oh,
I offer
my.
food and alcohol daily. Thank you, Ink Boy.
Ooh. I mean, that's pretty good. If it includes a place to live, I think I'm in.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so here's the rule of thumb with me. I really don't give people much of a chance any longer. I'm done giving people opportunities. I have lived my life where people come after me. I've tried to have conversations with them. I try to ask them questions, but every single time, legit, every single time, I really can't even think of a single time that it's ever not been. When people come after at me sideways, either they end up blocking me, ghosting me, giving me some evidence that's not even related, insulting me. It's just a waste of my time. So my rule of thumb now is
it's a circle.
It just
right?
continues coming at me sideways, right? So with anybody who goes to somebody and if you start off instantly with narrative, you're done. That's coming at me sideways. I won't listen to you. I'm just telling you right now. Don't even waste your time. You're probably gonna get blocked right off the bat. If you say, "Hey, look, I got a legit concern," when you're talking about it, sure. What you got?
There's something that I like to implement that I call. It's a rule that I call one and done. So if somebody's making some kind of
we're going to get to that.
elaborate,
I guess we do now. Good segue, Jess.
Okay, well,
no, we're there. No, go ahead. We're there.
It's essentially when somebody is going ahead and saying that, oh well, Steve lied. They're making this claim, Steve lied, or Steve is a liar. You go, okay, show me where he lied. If they don't show you where you lied, done. Because if they had that information, why would they not share it? If they have to,
and I mean, done as a block.
This elaborate explanation and show you a bunch of links, or they say, "Oh, it's all this video evidence," and they don't
look at all the evidence.
Bother
it's
to
fucking
link.
Nothing.
It's fucking
nothing.
nothing.
What's funny is
I can't believe
I'm glad that they do that just for one reason. I have had more people support me now because they've witnessed people doing that firsthand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a very solid core of viewers because of that.
I supported you. I supported you even before, watching, seeing all the people attack you. But after last night, I support you even 10 times more after that.
Was I not? If anything, I was under selling the type of shit that we have to go through.
Jesus! You were underselling, but now, holy shit! And to think that yesterday's whole debacle that included me started when I shared that clip, that specific clip where you, Chash, said, look at all the evidence. It's fucking nothing. Someone said, I thought someone who shall remain nameless thought that I was dragging you. It's like, what the fuck? No.
It's so funny. These people don't know what a joke is, how to take it. Essentially what that tells me is their own mentality, about themselves. So if they think that was you making fun of me, it means that they would view that if it happened to them as if it was somebody making fun of them, because it's and why? Because it's a clip, because it's something that
or you don't want to know what I think most of the time it is. I think it's well established that there are actual stalkers, cyberbulliers, and pieces of shit that have been coming after me for years. This is established fact at this point. Now, that group and groups of people that are around that group, what I think they may be doing, Chesh, is they may not actually feel that way, but they want to convince you that you should feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
They want to convince people that they, you should be offended by this. Right? You should be offended. Even though they don't give a shit.
That's the second half of it.
They're trying to play people.
Yeah, so that's the second half. If they've in their brain, that would be something that would be insulting to them and taken as if Egg was dragging me, then they think that Egghead is mad at me, or they think that Egghead doesn't like me for some reason, or is coming at me for some reason. So they immediately go to him and be like, "What did they say to you? What did they say?"
Basically, okay, I know the whole start of it was saying, I don't even remember. Oh my god, I blocked every single one of them out of my mental cavity because I didn't want to focus on that stupid group.
That's a good idea, actually, to be honest. So
I've been telling people from now on, just block people like that. Yeah,
they basically kept saying, "Oh, why are you supporting Cheshire and Steve? You should just look up all the evidence. How Steve is a rape apologist."
I'm a dirty rape apologist who's a horror's rape. I know, that's weird.
Who sent countless of people to harass and dox someone.
Yeah, Some, was it Exiled? It was Exiled, I think, wasn't it?
I think it
Yeah.
was. I think
Yeah,
I know Exile started the whole thing.
So Exile loves to do that. She'll come on the scene. She'll throw a bunch of shit at see if it sticks, and then she'll say, "Well, it's all out there," and never wants to be able to give any evidence for anything. She never has, never will. Now, people, you don't know the background of Egghead, but Exile was actually somebody way long ago that was friends with one of my mutual friends, Red's Rhetoric, that told him that if he doesn't stop talking to me, she was going to start to stop talking to him and be a little bitch about it. He told her to fuck off because I've been friends with Red's Rhetoric, and Red's is like me. You don't tell me who I can and can't be friends with. I don't care who you are. I've just said, Steve, I don't want you to be friends with Egg. I'd be like, fuck you, Chesh. Straight up. I love you, Chesh, but I would never say who can I be friends with. Now, if you were a piece of shit, Egghead, and she was still friends with you, yeah, I would probably keep her at a distance, but I wouldn't tell her, not to be friends with you. But especially you don't tell one of your best friends in your entire life not to be friends with somebody, right? And so he said,
my
okay,
favorite
fine.
is she's making this claim that
so it's personal.
They've sent
personal.
so many people to come and harass me. Bitch, Red's blocked you.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand that no means no.
No means no, right? Exactly. I was gonna say the same thing.
Either way, the point was that they essentially thought that Egghead was mad at me. So they went to Egghead being like, oh yeah, and she did this, right? So essentially what they did is they thought Egghead
they see that crack, they say, somebody doesn't like Steve, let's go after them. Yeah.
Well, it's not going after them. No. There's a difference.
Not going after them. No. I don't mean it that way. Not after to harm them, but after them it goes, oh, let's bring them into the fold. Yeah, and tell them all this bad stuff about Steve, kind of thing.
Yeah, so what they do is they see something that might be considered dissent between people.
Yes.
They go in there, then try to fan the flames of what would just be a normal disagreement and turn it, and they start stroking you and start trying to turn it into a hate boner.
Oil on this non-existent fire. They try to put more flammable oil on this non-existent fire.
Yeah, but if there is a spark, it's effective if there actually is. But this is the thing is that there wasn't anything there.
Yeah,
it was a.
I can't say they haven't turned a few people that way. Egg. I can't say they haven't turned a few people that way. I would say that maybe 3 people I can think of off the top of my head they probably turned that way. But you know what? First of all, then those people weren't really good friends to begin with. But I got to tell you, 10 times for every one they turn, 10 to 20 to 30 people more stand by me and can recognize what they're doing. So I think it's a matter of
top of that,
they're exposing themselves by doing it.
Yeah, well, and on top of that, there's another bit of manipulation going on here because they're going after someone they think is already mad and they're or already upset or bothered by something that Steve did. So now they're taking somebody who's already in an emotionally upset state and trying to upset them further.
It's emotional manipulation.
Yes.
Exactly.
So let's ask the audience. Have any of you had any of these people from these groups that we talk about DM you or private or public to try to coax you away and say, oh, look at this video about Steve? Because I mean, we know there's a ton of videos about me. And by the way, every one of those people are from the same troll group that we left. Every one of them. I mean, what's the reason for that? I mean, it's not just random people. Fiona Robertson, Exiled, Nate Brody, Heretic. They're all from the same troll group we left 3 years ago. Every single one of them. These were the people that are in that group that Bull and I are. My God, here he left as well. He knows these people. He could tell you how vile they are, what they've done to him and other people.
Type 1 in the chat if they have. Type 2 in the chat if they have not. Like if you've experienced something similar to Egghead, 1 in the chat.
Just this morning, I got a message from someone saying, yo, just curious, have you watched Nate's video yet? And I said, no. Why? And they basically just sent me the link to Nate's video. And I said, that.
And it's funny because again, Nate Brody was from the Great Debate community, and he couldn't. It all started with the fact he couldn't understand the atheist agnostic stuff, and he got his ass handed to him by me, Burt Pohl, and Dr. Alex Malpass, and he never recovered, and he swore vengeance. And he's been 3 years now. Again, Bullinator, is this not true? For 3 years, Nate has been trying to troll me, and came to my Facebook page, and under multiple accounts, fake accounts, he trolled me and he trolled you, and I kept blocking him. Is that not true?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Not to mention, when you asked him to drop the conversation 3 years ago, he didn't, which is what they use as an excuse to start their
Which
rampage.
actually he said he was going to, though. Did he not? He said, I'm never going to talk about any of this again. And then when 2 days later, or something like that, he was back at it again.
Yep.
He's a quintessential troll. Because as he said, he's going to basically stop. And then I called him out on his bullshit. I said, look, you said you're going to make one more video about this bullshit because you kept getting it wrong. And he kept making more and more and more, which, by the way, some of those deleted. But that's Nate Brody. Nate Brody has a hate bone over me for 3 years. And I haven't talked about Nate because I thought that, giving him attention would just feed his channel. But now I realize that I have no choice, that people need to know that he has been from that troll group that Bullet, myself, and Reds left. And if you want confirmation of that, all you got to do is go back and look at my Facebook page from about 3 years ago. Or 2. Yeah, it was meant 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and after I said, that, he said, you seem to be getting in deep into the drama. Was wondering if you had at least checked out the other side.
You're getting in deep in the drama by posting a clip about me.
Yeah, now that you're on this channel, oh my God, look all the hate you're going to get. A lot of ones, by the way. A lot of
There's
ones.
a lot of ones.
Live chat.
Yeah, we're looking at
waiting.
probably 30% of ones. And notice that there is a difference here. There's a lot of the people that you're seeing that are ones, or sorry, a lot of people that you're seeing that are twos aren't as active on Twitter as much.
Yeah. And by the way, my Twitter is in the video description. Most of the stuff happens on Twitter, and I admit it. I'm not a big fan of Twitter, honestly, anymore. I don't care if I have 5 subs or 1,000 or 10,000. It makes no difference to me. I got rid of like 40 people lately, so my numbers have gone way down on Twitter because I've just been blocking people left and right.
It's almost like the numbers don't really matter.
Yeah, they really I'm only going to be using Twitter mostly to post videos and stuff. But again, I've been responding to a bunch of shit to show people that I've had literally people come and stalk me kind of thing online. And the only reason I'm coming out about a lot of this stuff is not as playing this victim mentality, is because a friend of ours has legitimately been stalked and had some threats to her, which we'll get into her eventually. But I'm going to be a solidarity for her. Yeah. So, but I want to get into that.
Well, it's not like it's not public knowledge that these people legitimately stalk you around the internet. They stalk you all the way to when you were on the podcast when you were in Dallas.
Yeah, they did. Man, when I was in live, they were in live chat. They
legitimately follow you anywhere on the internet that you go, and then anybody who is even remotely close to being around you at all, it's talking about how awful you are. Meanwhile, while trying to drag the people that are around you at the same time, so they're trying to say that, oh well, these poor victims that are all around Steve, but also fuck them, they're awful people for being around Steve. And it's like,
and
you
they
can't have
cyberbully them, my friends.
Yes.
I've had people send to my friends' family, like their dads and stuff. Some of the girls I know, I've had these people legit contact their father saying, do you know this guy's hanging around your daughter kind of crap? Yeah, that's I'm telling you, this is how far they've gone.
I mean, I've had grievances with people online. I've responded to many people on my dimes on my days on YouTube, but I basically just leave it at that. Respond to a person's video at that. Maybe share it around. That's it.
I mean, there's still a lot of ones. Holy crap.
Yeah, because basically
they can't move on. They're using me for drama, Egghead. Look, there's two folds. One, they're trying to ruin my reputation, which is not going to happen because, again, my core group is pretty solid. That's my friendships with Cheshire and David Bullinator, Sweet Heathen, Red's Rhetoric, Nick Suitor.
Way to throw us all over the bus.
I know, right?
Like they don't know who they are. These are immutable.
These are the hit list, guys.
Not going to change that. Yeah, go after them. They are going after you guys. I mean, we have to be honest. They are going after you guys. That's why you made your video that you did, Cheshire, because you're one of the people who have been a victim, and you spoke up, and they basically shat on you.
Yep.
Because you're not a real woman, according to them. They legit said that she's not a real woman.
They tried to shit on me. They failed because I shoved that shit right back up their ass. We got a super chat from Sassy Sandra for $4.99 that says, first, love the learning, CC. Second, Chesh, could you draw me Sassy Goblin for a profile pic? Paying customer, of course. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I got you. I can do that.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Did you guys see the avatar she did for Mikey? Holy crap, that was freaking awesome.
Did you see the one that Moon is using now?
Yes. Oh my God, you really did. I thought that was
That
your
one's
artwork,
me.
but I wasn't sure because I don't see a lot of your artwork before. I think the only one you showed me in progress was the one you did for like Red's Lamborghini or a car or something like that
Oh, the
a
car,
long
yeah.
time ago. The car, but other than that, I don't
that
see
was
your
this past
process. Yeah, that was, but yeah, I was like, holy crap, that you outdid yourself with that one.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, so we're just getting that information out there. Like I posted today, I have an untitled folder on my Facebook page, and there's 4 women in, well, 1, 2, 3 women in there. And somebody actually, one of my trolls were like, why does Steve have pictures of random women on there? And people were like, oh, that's creepy, blah blah. First of all, one of those women I was with 4 years.
They're not
4 years
random.
living girlfriend. The other one was a girlfriend of 2 years. The other one was a girl that lived with me for quite some while that I was helping out, that we dated for a little. We didn't technically date, but we weren't exactly fully platonic. But these are women that all live with me, that I cared about. And so for them to try to run this narrative, they're just random women, right? This is what they do, right? And so the reason I point this out is whenever you hear anything like that, whenever you hear Steve and women and creep, they're lying to you, because the women in my life, they know I'm just the opposite, and I'm proud of that. And by the way, I will thank them for this. If it wasn't for these people out there doing this, I wouldn't have the quality of women I've had in my life now. I truly believe that, because they all looked into it and they all said, yeah, this is all bullshit. And I especially probably wouldn't have Sweet Heathen, one of my dearest friends, because she literally got pushed away from them and then pushed into me, knowing that they were full of shit, and she trusted me more and more and more. And now it's like, we have this unbreakable bond when it comes to trust, I think. So,
Aw.
That's good.
No, that doesn't mean like, we're like dating forever or anything, kind of thing.
I want to talk to her about that a little bit more. I want to talk,
but I
want to talk to her about that a little bit more on that time of the month, because I know we really didn't get into, because I didn't want to get too much into making it all just about Steve. So I want to hopefully talk about that a little bit more, and how she kind of got to know you, and what had happened with them talking to her or reaching out to her.
I would love that. I love that.
And now she's visited you twice. So I kind of want to do that for the first part. Yeah, I want to do that for the first part of the show next time, and then get into some.
And I can't thank them for that. I really honestly cannot thank them enough. My friendship with Sweet Heathen is the greatest things that probably ever happened in my life. She is legit, probably the most, just, I want to say perfect, but that would probably be the wrong word to use. Perfect person to be a friend to. She's like, I'll put it this way: she's the uniquest person I've ever met in my life, and I mean that in the highest of good ways. So I thank them for that.
Helios for 5 said, Chesh is a miracle of nature. She is both more women than any of them and has bigger balls than any of them at the same time. They're just jealous. Well, I can tell you my secret to that. The answer is I do have bigger balls. I just don't keep them in my groin area. I keep them in my boobs. They're called chesticles.
Chesticles.
Or lady balls.
Lady balls.
Outside makes a point. He says they have to go after your friends to distract people from noticing good people support you. Yeah, look, they came after me for years. I don't care. I never acknowledged them that why they're coming after me. But now they've started going after my friends' family and things like that. So now it's a different ball game. Now it's a different realm and arena that we have entered. And this is why I've asked for people to come out and support, not of me, but to come of my friends, and to denounce these people that have been actively running these
well, yeah, that's the thing. At no point has Steve ever asked people to speak out about these people for himself. Not even once. The only times you ever bring this up is when, Katie's husband's talking about my vagina. What the hell? Why is nobody saying anything about this? Or these people are going after Sweet for this thing, and
nobody did. Nobody stood up for you. Yeah. All right. So, do you want to just go on?
Bro.
Do you want to go into the crux of the stuff, or do you want to go to these last two real quick? I don't really think these last.
Oh, may as well. We can do them quickly.
Okay. Maturity.
Okay. So people seem to not understand what it means to be mature. Being mature means that you take care of your shit. That says nothing about whatever jokes you make. It's being mature is how you handle a situation in a healthy and mature manner. And one of those manners that is healthy and mature is being able to find the humor in shitty situations. That's that's a totally reasonable, mature adult thing to do. So like a good example, is a dick joke mature or not? Well, a dick joke might not be mature depending on the setting. A joke itself is never mature or immature. It's who the joke is to and when and where you're doing it. It's the audience and the room that you're playing, not the joke itself. Failed on Engineering for 2 said, and V know who's responsible for this attack, hashtag Busygate. And Little Miss Betty Page, aka Tank Girl for 2 says, Chesh has beach ball sized lady nuts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're impressive. Yeah, huge.
My boobs are deceptively sized.
Well, wasn't your ass like 70% of your body or something
80.
like that?
95%.
Oh my
95.
So that makes your testicles have to be at least 2.5% the other part.
Yeah, actually, I think what it is, your ass is so big, they've actually become your testicles.
All right, put it this way. We're putting it to chat. Chat, you need to vote right now, and you vote A, B, C, or D, or I guess E. How big do you think? What is my cup size? A, B, C, D, E.
Oh, let chat vote. I used to sell bras, so I got good at this.
God damn it.
So here's the question: is this conversation mature or not?
Yeah, reasonably. No, kind of, sort of.
It
really doesn't matter.
It's riding on the line, probably.
It's riding on the line.
Maturity.
Yeah.
Well, is it harming anybody?
No.
Is anybody
mature.
uncomfortable?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's all consensual. Then it's perfectly mature.
Who
There's no
put B?
problem with
What
this
the hell?
conversation.
B?
People are
She
saying
looks like a
Somebody said
goddamn
A.
B.
hey.
Lord, come on. A G F F. There is a FF. There's a triple D. I think is a same as a F or FF. I'm not remember. There's different ways that they measure from different types of bra companies.
Anyway.
Someone said GG.
GG.
GG. That means good game. Yeah. Just remember that the number deals with the amount around the bust itself and around the back. Okay?
Yeah, that's the size.
Yeah.
I'm a 32 around. I can tell you that much.
She says she's a 32. I think she's a 34, but whatever.
I don't think I'm a 34.
I don't know. Well,
I'm pretty small.
You always wear loose. Yeah, you wear loose stuff. So she's pretty small. She might be a 32. That's fine. It's not an exact science. And by the way, that's exactly what I was going to say. I could tell you right now from selling bras, what one company calls it like a D cup, another one does like a C. One says a 32, it's actually a 34. There's no consistency between Bali and different kinds of bra companies out there. Just Croft and Barrow. There's just not. It's weird. There's just you would think there's a consistency, but there's not. And by the way, women's waist sizes, same thing. A size 6 in one brand, it's not going to say the size 6 in some other brand sometimes. Women's the worst for that. I'm telling you.
All right,
and
Steve,
I think any woman would probably tell you
verdict?
that. Okay. I think the most common we're looking at is a C cup. It looks like a 32C.
Should I double check this bra and see what it is?
Yeah, but do it off camera because in case it slips.
In case
good.
it slips.
She's got
Instaban.
I'm a goddamn
Instaban.
professional. What does this look like to you?
Wow. Yeah,
it's basically the same thing that my wife does. That's exactly the exact same thing. That's what
that
she
happened
does.
before it just like pops out. Yeah.
She's taking off her bra the exact same way you did.
Nice job.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a 32 D or 32. That's a 30. That's probably a 32C or D. That's a D. It looks like a D. 32D. Again, it depends on the
32D.
Company. Woo! Steve sells bras. There you go. I have one hidden fucking talent, man.
And for anybody who wants the evidence.
Double D.
I have one talent in my life. God
there it is.
Damn.
32D.
She's what was it?
38 double D.
Double. Damn.
Damn.
Dang, I'm blessed with the kiss my mama gave me.
God bless America, man. Somebody asked, how do you work? How do you know so much? Somebody asked, how do you know so much about women clothes sizes? Well,
That's
twofold.
why I
One,
earned my moniker.
I've legit lived with a woman all my life since I was like, I'm gonna say like 23 and on. I mean, I could tell you step by step. I always had living girlfriends. And the other thing is I worked for Kohls for 7 years or so, or 7 years. And I was in charge of the kids department, lingerie department. I've done women's, I mean, I did a lot of overnights with women's clothes to size and
the only thing I really, know about women's clothing is that their pockets suck ass.
They don't really have pockets. They're for
They don't. They have like you can barely put a thing.
What pocket? This is a pretend pocket.
They're for looks. I know. I'm telling you.
It's got this little tiny. There is no pocket here.
It's for looks.
It's bullshit.
It's for looks.
This is what I'm saying. Women. This is what I'm saying. Like the pink tax. It's a real thing. Women Women will pay for things that look a little better, but that's all they give a shit about is not functionality. They care about looks. Men care about functionality, not so much the looks.
Bullshit! I want pockets. I'm not allowed to have pockets.
To become a man.
Women care. Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, I need to conform to your gender.
Instead of becoming a man, you could just buy men's clothing. You could just buy men's jeans. Men's jeans would work.
What do you think the odds are that I could find men's jeans that actually fit me properly? First off,
by the way,
there's a big pocket in the crotch spot in dudes' pants. That's uncomfortable as hell. Second, no dude's pants can handle this butt.
Yeah, the ways that women and men kind of shape differently. But Keno met me at Kohls when I used to work at Kohls. Keno Browner here. She's known me since I worked at Kohls. So everything I've ever told people is legit. I can actually back it up with evidence and facts and people in my life that I known all my life. Like Keno Browner, by the way. So it's like when people think that I'm making stuff up, I'm not. Every story I've ever told you is a God honest truth, and it can be verified if I really had to. So Keno knows I worked for Kohls for like 6-7 years.
Some patriarchal bullshit.
It's the patriarchy, I tells you.
You know the difference is I think
right. Some patriarchal bullshit.
I think women in men's clothes look sexy, like women in like men's jeans
but you
with a
can't
men's
wear
shirt,
it every
flannel.
goddamn day. People think you look like a slob if you do it every day.
It's all
How do
about
I
the
know?
looks,
I usually do.
Actually, Tank Girl makes a good point. She says, "Who needs pockets when girls have bras? They pretty much put everything in there." That's true. I've seen
exactly.
That's true.
Ham sandwiches coming out of that stuff, friend. It's like here's a beautiful.
It's adapt and overcome.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not as
we
like
are super distracted.
Real quick, it's not as cool as you think. I just want to throw that out there. It's not as cool as you think working in a women's lingerie, even though there are some attractive women that come. There's some attractive women that come through there, but I got to tell you, the vast majority of your customers are pushing probably 70 or 80 years of age, asking for like, does this bra fit me? Do I use this?
Oh Lord! Awkward conversations.
You don't even know the horror stories in retail, dude. You don't even know the crap that people do, man. Like people will take a bunch of clothes and they put them in the corner. I just throw them in there and then they'll pee on them. That's like,
oh my god.
What?
I mean, it's not like a once or twice thing. It's like this is like a regular thing every other month kind of crap, man. People have dirty diapers, use condoms. I don't know, man. The whole thing in retail is bizarre.
I have horror stories of the movie theater industry.
Oh god. Women have purses because we don't have pockets is bullshit. The amount of stuff in a purse wouldn't fit in cargo pants. That's a fucking bug out bag.
Oh, by the way, I'm waiting for the first person
From
to
God's
go.
Auditor,
Keno's actually Steve's sock account, like they did with Duck Duck Goose and everybody else. Yeah. God's Auditor.
My favorite was that. I just did it. I already did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? I didn't hear it. Sorry. Okay, go. Take it.
Well, tell me what the new one is.
Oh, I thought
I already did God's Auditor.
Did you?
Oh my god.
No, you're just talking.
Did you just disappear out of reality?
Steve, where'd you go, Steve? Where'd you go? You're not here.
It happens, man. I've got.
He died.
I'm still doing stuff. Yeah.
Did we miss one from engineering?
Oh, failed engineering we missed, according to her.
Scrolling up to responding to a question to your narratives with #bark is ? Yeah. I take that shit seriously. They're not taking it seriously, obviously.
Yeah. Tank Girl, my pet rat even used to sleep in my bra often. Awkward. When I forget she was in there and my shirt started wiggling in public. People might just thought your boobs had talent, you know?
Ooh.
There's probably muscles under them.
My daughter wants us to read it again, and since he got me my bottle of scotch, which I've only had that much of, by the way. And by the way, I love this narrative that all I do is I go on air and drink. I have the same bottle of scotch since he sent me since November, and I just
That's
now
because you're
finished my
drinking
bottle.
other things, Steve.
Like what?
I don't know.
I had
water,
spice rum,
coffee.
Oh, I drink a lot of water and coffee. Yeah. God's auditor, he says once again, women's have purses because we don't have pockets is bullshit. The amount of stuff in a purse wouldn't fit in cargo pants. That's a fucking bug out bag. Yeah, that's true. By the way, I used to.
Depends on the size of the purse.
I used to wear cargo pants. They were actually very comfortable. Just gonna say it.
Some purses are designed to be no, this is a bag that you just basically carry around your life in, and other ones are just small.
No, I think everybody should have a bug out bag. You never know. Oh, by the way, I just realized Kino doesn't even have any content on her channel. But if you look at her avatar, we probably don't look a lot alike. But that is Kino. That's actually what she does look like. But yeah, so people might think she actually is a sock account of mine. She's not, and she's welcome to come in anytime. I mean, Kino, if you want to come in, you can. But yeah, I love when people have accused me of being all these sock accounts. I'm not. It's okay. Okay, last one, and then we'll get into the crux of the stuff because it's coming on the hour mark. So first hour we kind of do this stuff. Second hour we do the more serious stuff. Ready for this one?
No, we don't.
On the average. No, actually, kind of. That's actually if you go back and watch the shows, yeah. I'm serious. Yeah.
Well,
maybe it's not intentional,
show,
but you don't watch your own show?
All right, let's go.
All right. Oh, before I do, real quick, I got to put a shout out to John Buck here. By the way, he made a video the other day on G-Jump that was just magnifico. I haven't watched it all because it's 2.5 hours long. I told him he probably should have broken up in parts, but the parts have watched, oh my God, are they good? Brilliant job on that. And I'm going to give him a mod so we can post a link in the video description. I mean, in the live chat. Post that stuff, man, because that is good. I'm gonna do an Ask a Philosopher, I think, on that very video, and maybe Scott Clifton might join me. I mentioned it to him. I'm Bold and the Beautiful. All right, so let's do this one. Ready? Last one. Demonstrating a lie. How about how about we turn this to Egghead? Let him kind of see what he can run with it first.
Oh, demonstrating a lie.
Yeah. Why would we want people to demonstrate if they're example, if I say, hey, Cheshire, you're a liar, what happens? Why do we want people to demonstrate that a lie actually has occurred? Which means somebody has willfully been deceptive usually for their own benefit of something along those lines.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think. Oh my God.
You want to phone a friend to Cheshire? She can probably help you out, maybe.
Phone a friend. Go, throw it over to her. I'm on the spot. It's oh God.
Anybody can say anything about anybody. This is the internet. You're allowed to say whatever you want. And the thing is that it's not going to be on me if you say, oh, Chesh is a liar, show that I'm lying. How am I supposed to prove that I haven't lied? It's okay. One, you're asking me to prove a negative, and two, we kind of, because of the type of community that we're in, and because of the space on YouTube that we take up, a lot of what we do relies on our reputations. So if somebody's just going around saying I'm lying, then that's a real problem. They're actively attempting to hurt my reputation and therefore hurt my livelihood. Usually they're also trying to hurt my livelihood as well, but
yeah. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense than I was going with.
Do you know how you can demonstrate someone is lying? Like how you demonstrate someone. So if somebody says,
as to show of any form of evidence that say you did something really horrible, like Cheshire killed an important bag of kittens. I have disprove. I have all this evidence. Then they refuse to show it.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be
like if somebody goes to Egghead and says Steve's a liar, what would they have to show you for you to believe them?
Yeah. Basically, if someone came to me and told me if Steve or you are quote unquote manipulating me, I would basically ask them to say, "Hey, show evidence that they are actually doing this." And if they, let's say, maybe show a link to a random YouTube video, because random YouTube videos online can totally 100% be real.
Yeah, and that goes back to the whole one and done thing. I'm asking people, go ahead,
Mm.
do the one and done. Ask for evidence. If they don't give it to you, block these people.
Yeah.
Why waste any more time with it? And don't tag me on it. I don't care. I'm really tired of people tagging me. They're like, "Oh, this person's talking about Steve. Tag Steve." Don't tag me on it any longer. Please don't. I don't care. Let them talk.
Of course they are. All these people do is talk about
It's
Steve.
worse when you tag me, because then I have to get involved, or I have to see things I don't really want to see. That's why I block these people in the first place. Don't.
A lot of the
If
time
you're
when
talking to some
people are
idiot,
tagging,
it's your business.
it's
Don't
an
tag me
old
on it.
common courtesy thing. If somebody is
I
tagging
know.
you,
I get that.
I'm not explaining to you.
Okay.
We all know you know. I'm the one that doesn't know shit.
No, it's a common courtesy thing if somebody's talking about somebody else on Twitter to tag the person that's now being spoken about. It's a defense mechanism for a lot of us, so that we can actually address these things. The thing is that these people have been going on for 3 years at this point. There is no point anymore, because of course they're talking about Steve, but people who are new aren't going to know that.
Yeah, no, and I don't
This is the
fault
first
them
time
for it. I
coming-
really don't.
coming along at you.
It sucks. I get it, because there is a kind of a code that we have. If people are talking this way, tag somebody and let them, express their opinions. I totally understand that. But like Jess said, after 3 years of dealing with these psychos, what do I have to say to? And by the way,
that's why,
most of them I will never respond
Egghead
to. I only
tagged
respond
me,
to people
and my
tagging me.
response
I don't
was,
them directly.
"Oh, I roll."
Exactly. Yeah, because of the whole like when Exile the first sub quote tweeted my clip of you going, "It's nothing." she basically was like, I don't. She didn't even get your Twitter handle right. I was like, I did. You can't even. You try to drag her by acting like I drag her, but yet you can't even tag her right. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Can I play a little game?
You to fight.
Well, that's what they thought. They thought Egghead was kind of like,
they thought I was dragging her.
Right. They thought I was dragging her. So they were trying to take
ignoring the fact that she specifically asked that at one point that clip to be made.
Yeah, somebody clear this, please. My God.
I want to play a little quick 2-second game here. So I'm going to ask the live chat here. 230 some odd people watching, give or take. So anybody there? By the way, a couple people I need to probably give moderator too that I've been neglecting. I'm sorry, but as I see you come up, I'll add you. Trina's in the live chat nowadays. So by the way, Trina wants to marry both of us. I guess it's polygamy. It's okay. All right. So let me ask the live chat. One, have you ever seen when you've asked anybody for evidence that I've lied or done anything that they've said I've done? Have you ever seen them actually provide it other than what they think is quote evidence, which is like, "Oh, here, watch this video," or it's out, or they just say it's out there? Has anybody actually given you evidence that I've lied? Please tell me now. If you have seen evidence, press 2. If you haven't seen evidence, press 1. And if you would like to, if you've seen evidence I've lied, I give you the chance right here and now to come on in and ask about it. I'm fine with that. I've been doing this for years, and you know how many people have ever taken me up on it? 0. Do you have people that have ever seen any evidence I've lied? 0. So I mean, I'm waiting for that day. I really am. But every time I've asked people for evidence, and people have, they get shut down, they get blocked, they get ghosted. And you know what? That's good, because it has solidified my position that all these people are full of shit, right? Because if evidence was so easy.
Helios.
Yeah.
Helios,
the only time.
I'm sorry for 2. Helios threw me off. He used a different number. Damn it. For those of us not familiar, what is dragging? Egghead, do you want to define what dragging is?
Well, in my words, or in my weird brain, dragging is basically, I guess, attacking someone, or raking them under the coals. putting them out or whatever, taking the piss out of them.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Like when you're attacking somebody and trying to bring them down for
Yeah,
whatever reason, you're
exactly,
dragging them through the mud would be like the continuation of that sort of sentence.
Yeah, there's a couple like two people put two, but I think they made a mistake because one of them was Manya. Two means that you see me lie, or you've seen people that give you evidence that I've lied. Sorry.
Let me also explain real quick what you would need to show to demonstrate somebody was lying. If it's not hard to demonstrate somebody's lied when they've actually lied. Because all you would need to do is show me saying one thing with its context, and then me later on saying something else in the same, like in its context. So if I say,
in context,
on that day I was wearing a red shirt, but there's a picture of me somewhere where I'm not wearing a red shirt, and earlier that day I said, I was wearing a red shirt. And at some point I'm saying, no, actually my shirt was blue.
So if all this evidence is out that I've lied, or I'm some kind of a rape apologist, or any crap like that, whatever the narrative is of the day, how come all these hundreds of people haven't seen it? And I'm sure that a lot of them have asked for it. I'm just weird. Now I'm going to ask the same question. How many of you, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, and Chester's going to get pissed at me, so he's probably going to talk to me again. But how many of you have seen evidence when we say that Unirock and Katie Joy have lied? Press 1 if you have not seen the evidence. Press 2 if you have seen evidence that they have lied. And we've shown it.
Oh, yeah, it's not hard. It's okay, let me put it this way. If somebody says, I don't drink, and then, I never drink, and then you show a video of that clip of them drinking, you've demonstrated them lying, provided that you can show that they're... Yeah, provided that you can show that they've been drinking before and they've been drinking afterward, and they know for a fact that they've been drinking. How can they possibly not know that they've been drinking? It's not hard to demonstrate a lie.
I don't drink an exceptional amount because people know I got stomach issues, but I would never say I don't drink. Of course I drink. I like drinking. The problem is it doesn't like me. So I cannot drink an awful lot. 3 beers and I will get sick and I'll have a hangover. So whenever I have a hangover, it's not that I had a capricious amount of alcohol. It's just that alcohol does not sit well with me these days. So
due to the power of Google
Plex. Google. So this is what I want people to see. There's a dichotomy between our side and their side. I know that these people lie. I mean, like the other day I made a video showing, Unirock says I've never said Steve, what Duck Group was Goose was Steve's troll account. And of course he did. And by the way,
troll account. Yeah,
and he gaslit her, and in the live chat she was like, "Oh, maybe I have it kind of wrong, and I apologize." Blah blah blah. He totally manipulated her, right?
Yep.
That's gaslighting.
And you can see it happening.
But, yeah, I mean, so there's a distinction to be made. But I will tell 212 people right now. One sec. If any of you find anything from anyone that I've lied, just message me. Just message me. I will talk. I will settle it and figure out what the hell it was about. I stand by that. But they won't.
Here's the thing.
Ask what he's lied about. Go ask Unirock what he's lied about. They'll block you.
Mr. Serious made a good point. You don't have to you don't need narrative to demonstrate somebody lied. To demonstrate Steve's lied, you don't need to go to somebody else's video. The evidence should be within Steve's own content. At what point do I need to watch somebody else explaining it? Just show me where Steve has lied directly from Steve. I don't need somebody else to explain it to me. I'm not an idiot. I know what lying is.
5-hour video.
And the only thing that they ever sent me last night was that video on the other guy's channel. Yeah. That's the only form of evidence that they ever sent me.
This is how I would prove somebody lied. This is what I would do. I say, look, here's the claim. The claim is, like, for example, Unirock says he never said that Duck Goose was a troll account of mine. That's the claim. I would say, well, this is false because he has. Here's a screenshot from it. Here's this, and this. And here's, you can watch this video as well. It's only 1 minute. It's not like it's a 5-hour thing. So I don't mind sharing a video, but I'll give the reasons why that video is evidence that he lied. Claim is this, and here I have a tweet where he says, otherwise, verbatim, Duck Goose is Steve's troll account. That is a contradiction. That's all you need to do. Here's the claim. Here's the contradiction. Boom, done. And then you have the evidence for that contradiction, which is I showed it in a 1 minute video. I don't think it's that difficult to show that somebody lied.
It's not. It's really not. At no point, if you're trying to say that somebody did something, your best way to demonstrate that they've done that thing is by showing them doing that thing. Linking to somebody else's video isn't going to do anything for you, because now I have to go through and find whatever. You're using a secondary source when you could be using a primary source. If you could be using a primary source, why are you using a secondary source where I have to wade through all of the extra bullshit that's being said to try and actually suss out what was actually said? And on top of it, praise be if the person who's making these claims or has made these videos is actually kind enough to put their goddamn timestamps and links to whatever the hell you're talking about.
I will caveat this, because I think it's important. There's a difference between lying and misremembering. Okay.
Yes.
And if you have a principle of charity, I will grant somebody may misremember, which case it's not a lie. A lie has involved intent, right? So in this case, I don't give Unirock principle of charity because he doesn't deserve principle of charity, and I think he's lying about it. I know he's lying about it because he's never corrected it, and he refused to, and he knew about it at the time.
Yeah, and you can also, well, yeah, and when he was being corrected in the chat, he deflected or he manipulated, and you can actually see in the way he presents that information. Because what did he say? Unirock says, "I never said that Duck was a Steve Troll account. That's not what I said. Somebody's lying to you," so obfuscating. He's already trying to deflect it. Somebody's lying to you. But that's not what I said. What I did say was, oh, well, that's just not what I said. You can go find it. The way he presents the information is indicative of somebody being dishonest who wasn't able to come up with an actual reason before they had to be like, oh, I mean, whatever.
That's why I'm leaning toward it was an outright lie rather than just a misremembrance.
Yeah, and it's a pretty clear.
Somebody says, "Hey, Steve, it seems like you have a contradiction here and you lied." I'll be like, you know what? I probably did misremember that, and it's up to the person to believe me or not. I mean, what am I going to do? But even then, I can't recall any time in the near past this happened. It could.
And Mr. Sirius also makes another good point. They were sent some cut up bullshit video earlier to prove something. They removed all of the context. Removing context is dishonest. Yes, if you're removing context from something, you are being dishonest by caveat.
Yeah.
Now, you might have reasons for being dishonest that could be good or bad reasoning, but you are still being dishonest. You can lie for a good reason. You could lie to protect yourself. You could lie to protect somebody else. Lying isn't always a bad thing to be doing or the most negative thing to be doing. But you do have to say that, yeah, you were lying.
I think there's, like I said, I firmly believe it. Go ahead.
Sorry. Failed at Engineering said, Uni said Duck was either Steve or one of his mods, so he did say it was Steve, FFS.
Actually, what he said was Duck Goose is Steve's troll account, and then he added a second statement after that. So there's a huge difference there. Yeah, so I mean, you have to take into account that was the first statement. He said, quote, definitively, as a declarative statement, Duck Goose is troll Steve's troll account. So I mean, that's a definitive statement. That's not an if or. That's not even something that's questionable. That's an explicit statement. So now again, we all make mistakes. I've thought certain people are certain trolls accounts, and I was wrong. But you know what I do? I correct it and say, you know what, I was wrong about that. I've never heard.
Yeah, being incorrect doesn't make you yeah.
Let me ask another quick. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Being incorrect doesn't mean that you're lying, or not knowing something doesn't mean that you're lying. Saying that you think somebody is wrong doesn't mean that somebody else is lying, or that you think somebody else is lying.
Let me ask the live chat one more thing before we get to the next super chat, because I just thought about this. Has anybody ever seen the McCrazies ever correct anything when it came to me? To ever say that I was right or that they were in error or they made a mistake? Has any of them ever done that? Because I did it like for Fiona the other day.
I've seen one.
I made a mistake and I corrected it. It wasn't attributed to her. Yeah. I corrected myself. Has anybody ever seen them correct anything? Because I haven't, and they've gotten everything wrong. I mean, have they even corrected one of it?
I've seen one.
What did you say?
Kind of. It was when Exiled.
What do you got a caveat?
When Exiled, that's not a caveat. They legitimately kind of corrected themselves. It was when Exiled said I was dating Red's rhetoric. And we were like, what? Since when was this happening? How could you possibly have that information? Hey, Reds, I guess we're dating now. Good shit. And he's like, cool. That's great. She did say, well, I guess you're just his butt buddy or something then. So she like kind of corrected herself.
Okay, so how about this? Like a correction when
She didn't apologize for it.
People say that I have a girlfriend when I made it very clear that I don't have a girlfriend. They've never corrected that. And they say, oh, Steve doesn't, Steve, like, for example, they're like,
although they try to
Steve
spin that into, because nobody's ever going to date Steve, or she's pulling back and away from Steve, or she's doing this or that and speaking for her.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a happy birthday. Little Miss Betty Page for 2 said, happy birthday to Just Brett. Happy birthday, Just Brett.
Happy birthday to you.
And Helios for 5. I
think.
And Helios for 5 says, lying is different from making mistakes or forgetting something. Lying requires intent to deceive for some reason and isn't inherently bad or good.
Yeah, like I said, there's reasons to lie. I think there are virtuous lies. I don't ascribe to Kantian ethics, but I avoid it as much as possible because the people I know in my life, they don't want to be white lied too, I guess would be the term. For example, like if Cheshire said, hey, do I look good in this top? And I go, yeah, I look great on it. She goes on, people are like, dude, what the hell you wear that top for? She would be pissed at me, right? So I don't see a real reason to, but I mean, I there are times to white lie for comforting reasons. I mean, look, I've used the example before. My cousin had cancer, and as one of the kids, and she's like, oh, wow, I thank Jesus that they only have to remove one kidney. And I'm like, thinking of myself personally, like, well, why did he give you cancer in the first place? But of course, I wasn't going to be a dick about it, and I was, very pleasant about it. I mean, there's times that a white lie or something like that, going, I'm happy that that Jesus took care of you, kind of thing. I don't care, right? I mean, that's just a little white lie. I'm fine with that kind of stuff. That's not exactly what I said, but I can see myself saying something like that. But of course, every situation is kind of different. You have to take other things into account. But the problem is that those kind of people, they don't give anybody the principle of charity. So they think that even
somebody said that there was an apology video that was retracted. Does that count?
Oh my God.
There was that's true. There was an apology video that was retracted. So I don't think that actually does count, actually. Yeah, no.
Apology video that was retracted.
I've seen people do it who have believed the McCrazies, but never the McCrazies themselves. And then I've seen them back off of points, but never admit to being wrong.
I got to tell you, I've had more people come to me recently than ever apologizing. More people than ever recently apologizing, and they've for a lot of different things. And I've had people, at least 3, just this last couple of days, I'd say the last 4 or 5 days, come to me and say, "Hey, Steve, I really want to apologize because I was saying things about you. I told certain people certain things. I regret doing it, blah blah." And they've been completely honest about it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I accept it totally. That to me is an honorable person, right? Who does something like that.
Just Brit for 199 said thanks everyone. So thanks everyone, much love. Happy birthday.
Yay.
There's also a difference between lying and being tactful. So you could say something that might not be wholly true because you're trying to be tactful about the way you're saying something.
Yeah, but a lie of omission still technically.
I'm not saying a lie of omission. I'm saying being tactful. So I could think your top is ugly as shit, but I'm not going to say it's ugly as shit. I might just say it doesn't look very good on you.
Yeah, I know. I would be I wouldn't match it with those pants or something, right?
Yeah, that's not a lie. That's presenting the information in a way that's going to be digested easier by the person receiving the information.
Yeah. By the way, Mrs. Sirius says somebody told. Yeah. So he says that I love this. Somebody told me. By the way, this was Laura who said this because I remember it. That Steve's taking back acceptance of Kitty's apology that she took back meant he was lying. Yeah, Laura. By the way, who's not very understanding of social norms. She doesn't understand this concept. She doesn't understand a lot of concepts. Problem that we had back way with her. Laura is again somebody from the GDC from 3 years ago that we wanted to get away from. Bull and Ender will testify to this. And Laura does not understand basic social norms. I mean, she was scared of a goddamn piece of luggage. Okay, she's just not a well-adjusted individual, but she's running the narrative because I forgave or I took Katie's apology, but when I accepted it, but when she rescinded that apology, there was no more apology to accept. Therefore, because I told her, I said, look, if you apologize to me, I'm gonna take you off my radar and back off. She did, but she didn't. It was a half-ass, and then she ran this bullshit narrative that I sexually harassed her. I said, no, but you know what? It doesn't fucking work that way. You cannot half-ass apologize to me and then lie to people about sexual harassment. I'm not gonna let you get away with that bullshit, right? So she took back her
that was
apology.
also a different issue, right? She apologized for this stuff, but not for this stuff, and then continued with this stuff, right? So you accepted this apology and then said, hey, this stuff is still an issue. She kept still going and then rescinded this apology, and you can't accept an apology that somebody has taken away from you.
Yeah, but according to Laura, that means I lied. This is what we mean by demonstration of a lie. There was no lie demonstrated. What it demonstrated was Laura doesn't understand what it means to demonstrate a lie, or basic, again, simple concepts. Like if somebody if I say, Chester, I'm sorry, I hit you, and then 5 seconds later I smack her across the face again, you know, she's gonna take back.
And then say, oh, by the way, I'm not really sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
So Chester says, well, you know what? I don't accept your apology because you've hit me again. And then somebody says, Egghead says, well, Chester, you're lying. Blaming the victim.
You're lying there, Cheshire, you lying Canadian.
I mean, literally, blaming the victim that you're lying because I hit her. I apologize. And I did it again and said, I'm not really sorry. Let's blame Cheshire.
Hey, listen, you can spin off of this, though, right? We're sitting here and Steve's laughing about beating women.
Yeah. You're not a
somebody said. Somebody asked me, why don't you have a boyfriend? Are you a difficult woman? LOL.
Why a boyfriend? I had a girlfriend. What do you? Really?
I thought she always said she's married to the chat, folks.
Yeah. Married to the chat.
Yeah.
All right, did we finally get through
a wild, sweet heathen appeared.
Woo!
Say hi to Sweet. Woo! But yeah, by the way, that I'm telling you one of these days, with that luggage story, that's going to be epic.
It's pretty funny.
I've
heard the story.
I'm not going to. It's somebody else's story to tell, but holy shit, is that freaking hilarious? Yeah, this is true. I pushed her on her trip. I pushed her down.
Puck is losing his mind.
Around. Yeah, exactly. I'm so violent. Yeah. What with Puck?
Puck's losing his damn mind.
Oh no! How did I bruise you? I didn't.
Doing a bork.
I didn't. First of all, she doesn't bruise easily. I've tried. I was like, bam! I was like, where's the welt? Let's get the. Oh.
Jesus Christ. Oh no! Oh no!
Look, using an orange in a sock.
People need to put things in context here. Look. If I and Sweet ever got in a fight, do you not think that she would probably end up killing me?
She would destroy
me. I'm not an idiot. I know she wouldn't fight fair. She would be taking.
No, the thing is these people are sexist as hell and don't understand women who are more forward about this kind of thing. So women who they're sexist. So they think, oh no, it's not possible for Sweet to be able to stand up to you because she's a woman.
Right? She stands up to me.
They believe.
Why do you think I like
women?
her? Why do you think she's their friend?
When they belong.
Yeah. But we are both very
clumsy. Make me a sandwich.
Make me a sandwich. Do it.
Failed at engineering for 2 said for our adorable Puck. Aw, he's downstairs.
All right, now that Sweet's here, we can move on to the nitty gritty. Do you want to do that, Chesh? And by the way, trigger warning coming up here in case we start getting into things that might actually trigger people. So, but Chesh, take this way.
I know that if I ever get if I ever piss this little lady off, she has multiple ways of making me pay, and she's using it one right now.
She put your shot color on 10. I know you're done, dude. You're done.
Exactly. I am done if I piss her off.
The problem with hanging out with strong women.
She likes inflicting pain, so we get
a strong Texas woman. That's what she is.
Yeah.
Well.
Yes, I mean, you got to appreciate the craft. She enjoys inflicting pain. Receiving.
What book is she threatening you with?
She's holding a Witcher book.
Oh no!
Don't tell me how it ends. I still got to finish Witcher 3 one of these days.
Yeah, she has multiple other books too. At least it's not 50 Shades of Garbage.
You need to use a hardback though, Mrs. Egghead. Just saying.
Oh, that's a hardcover.
They're saying you should use a hardcover book.
Oh, I've got some of those too.
Oh no.
There you go. There
All right,
you go.
Josh,
Oh no.
Yeah,
got
what do we
30
want to get
minutes
into first? We kind of went into Egghead stuff a little bit. Is there any more we need to cover with what had happened with his situation and how they were straight up trying to manipulate him?
No, I think we're pretty
Egghead, do you
well-
have
I mean,
anything you
Egghead-
wanted to talk about or add or like about your experience or any other messages you wanted to share?
You know, after last night, I'm fully aware. Like, I'm just in awe of how many nut jobs there are. Just come out of the woodwork and just attack Steve and you. Just like
hashtag Steve is right.
yeah,
They're super
hashtag
butthurt
Steve
about
is
me.
right.
Yeah,
They're super
You are
butthurt.
not a
I've been
woman.
trying to
Just
get
chat.
for years. You know what? The greatest part is I probably couldn't have convinced as many people as just me, just Bull, just Rez. The three of us probably could only convince a certain amount of people. They've actually demonstrated it and shown people themselves that we were right. I mean, go watch an Brody video. Go watch a Heretic video. That's what we want anyways. Go watch those videos and tell me they're not fucking trolls and they're not
Are
making
you
shit up
saying
just to
that
click
the
a-
evidence of them being trolls is their own videos? So you're not
Yes, it is.
obfuscating to a secondary source of somebody else pointing
Primary.
out that they're... Yeah, okay, cool.
primary source.
You're pointing to their
I say-
direct behavior
Yeah.
that they've shown consistently and it's a pattern of behavior?
Yep. And by the way, you know, I
Weird.
hate people watching shit videos, but the fact that I don't care if they watch it and then go, oh well, you know what? Yeah, these people are fucking insane because that's what I get. I get the vast majority of people going back to me and go, holy shit, I watched the
You
Heretic
shit
video
around
and
that
dude,
heretic
that's
one
insane.
quite a bit.
I have
one
not
where-
seen Heretic's videos. I don't
I
watch
haven't
them,
seen
but
it
I've
either,
heard.
but didn't you share it? Or no, you shared a picture of it. You
No,
shared
I
a
showed
screenshot of
pictures
the
of
video.
Phil, screenshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just the fact that not only did I had explicit, quoting that damn video clip of you saying it's nothing. I had multiple people quoting that damn tweet besides explicit thinking that I was attacking Chesh. I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are all these people?
The two of my favorite memes, by the way. She didn't create that meme, but I like that meme. And the other one, if you ever saw it, was the one where the guy shoots the guy in the chest, and it's like non sequitur. And then Kyle's like, "Why did Steve do this?"
Yeah. Why did Steve do this?
Why does
What
Steve do this? And by the way,
Yeah,
no, Kyle's gonna be on Unirock's channel on Wednesday. We're gonna stream live on this channel in real time because we already know Kyle's gonna run more narrative. Because of course, why would he? If he had, I'm just like, okay, so you have all this evidence, which by the way, you haven't said used before, and you didn't go to court of it. I think the ship has already left that dock.
I'm so
right?
surprised
It's
it's not a
that he's
warrant
trying-
for him.
Well, there will be eventually. I think there's going to be a civil contempt charge at some point. I'm predicting it if he doesn't get his head off his ass. But what he's trying to do is he knows Unirock is basically going to try to at least salvage a little bit of reputation for him. But we're going to be tonight, actually. Today's Monday, right?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
tonight, Ed Kennedy in space and Dick Dawson maybe and a few other people. We're going to have a hangout late tonight. It's going to be about maybe 6 o'clock Pacific time. And we're going to have
9
questions
p.m.
that-
EST, and so that would be 8 for Egghead.
Central. Yes, he's in Central. It's going to be questions to Kyle to answer that he will never answer. So we're going to come up with
Of
questions
course.
that we know he's never going to answer. He's never going to be asked them. And if he does, he's just going to, obfuscate it. But we're going to show how a proper interview would be done if we were going to be doing an interview with Kyle, what I would ask him. And if I wasn't in civil litigation with him, I'd be happy to do so. I can't talk to him to the court totally done. But these are the questions I would ask and what my lawyer would ask, right? Because Rock's not going to ask him any difficult question. If he is, Kyle's just going to say, make some shit up, right? Because he's going to lie about it like he's lied every other time. But yeah, I'm so excited about it too because Kyle never filed anything. He didn't.
We're
everything I
probably
said
going to
was
read a
completely
lot of the
untrue.
questions. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be there tonight, but I think we're
He
going to read
didn't
a
even
lot of the
show
questions
up.
from the chat as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, we're going to be asking the chat to help us make this, and we're just going. I'm going to put it on my blog. I'm going to put it on my Great Debate Community page, not my 3 a.m. philosophy page with the general discussions, and these are just gonna be a list, kind of like Darwin's deities. Remember the
They
old
asked for
timers here might
questions.
remember.
Yeah, they've
the
been
old timers here
asking
might
for
remember.
questions to ask him, so we're gonna give him the questions.
Yeah, but do you guys remember the old timers might recall Darwin's deity has like 18 questions he'll never answer. Right? It's gonna be much like that. So,
Nice.
anyways, all right, Chester. So you want to take it away with some of the more triggering stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So since we were talking about how they kind of came at Egghead, they also went after Ilya, Ilya Moon. And so I got her to send me the initial one she was talking about, because she didn't actually share this one publicly, and I've blacked out the name because they were threatening her. And I'll present real quick. And where is it?
You can't, Josh. You have
What?
to send
What?
it to me. Remember?
Damn it, Bull!
Welcome to
No, I didn't
Z-Mix,
remember.
man.
Well,
Remix.
I'll send it to you then, I guess.
Oh my god, it's so hard.
Oh my god.
Super good.
Oh my god, I have to
By the way, we are
email.
not professional. People don't treat us as such. By the way, just FYI. Yeah, I know Shannon debated DD the other day. I didn't watch it. I probably should. I don't know. I'm not really interested in debates, but I see no reason to debate Darns about anything. But whatever, they had fun.
That must have been an interesting conversation with Darwin's deity.
I'm sure. Hey, more power to her, man. If she can stomach listening to him, I just can't. So, people that don't know Darwin's deity, you guys are missing out. Trust me. Oh crap. Trust me. He is a world-class prolific troll.
Hello.
Hello.
No, you don't hold a candle to Darwin.
You don't hold a
Darwin's deity is-
candle at all to
You're
Darwin's
amateur.
deity.
I
He
sent
is
it to you
epic.
on Twitter. I DM'd it to you.
You sure
Well,
about
I
that?
kind of wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did. Okay. So,
Alright.
you pull this up.
I will wait. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Open image
So
in
Brian, my buddy
browser.
Brian says the first half was interesting. Shannon talked to him about the soul.
I won't.
The last half was just Darwin's running a script and Shannon laughing at him, as it should be. Yeah, you know what's funny about this? So I did want to have a discussion. I did talk to Scott Clifton. Well, I kind of brought it to his attention that there's something called axiology, which is the study of value. And I had asked Ozzy a similar question about intrinsic value, like does life have intrinsic value? Because it was brought up on a discussion with Scott Clifton and S.J. Thomason on her channel, which was, by the way, a really good discussion. You can say what you want about S.J. Thomason. I know she said some horrible things, but when she really wants to have an honest discussion, sometimes she actually can. I got to admit, I think she had a really honest dialogue with Scott. I was actually very impressed by it. So it is possible, just she can do it. But the question whether, whether life has intrinsic value, I think it's an interesting question. I know Ozzy may want to talk about it a little bit, so I don't know if there's any right or wrong answer to it, by the way. But all right, what do you got for us, Dave?
I'm getting
Hey,
there,
clicking.
Steve. Give me a
We
break.
getting there. Hurry up, God!
Well,
You had
she
one
didn't.
job, Dave.
She didn't send me a picture. She sent me a link to a picture on Twitter that doesn't open in a browser. So that didn't work out.
I just clicked it. I saved the pic. Like
It's Twitter.
Just the picture
It's-
file.
It's Twitter. It's Twitter.
Yes, guys, this on a technical question. I really hate when I'm downloading something and it comes up JPG/_large. All right, have you guys ever had that?
Yep.
Because how do you, I have to go back in and have to rename it, which by the way doesn't always work properly. It saves as a web form. Is there a way to download it just as a JPG where I don't have to do that when that comes up? I don't know. I've
No,
tried
but
everything.
there are converters, I think, for it. Somewhere.
Is there? Maybe I'll look for converters. It's just annoying. Who thought of that?
All
What is JPG_large? Gary says, and I went a few rounds debating Darwin's deity years ago. I'm with Steve. It's horrible listening to him when he's using the same script he did 4 years ago. A real douche. Yeah, I went heads against Darwin's. And by the way, one channel that Darwin's has never been in? This one, or the GDC. He's never been in any of my channels, except for the
All right.
Non Sequitur show. He hasn't been in this channel.
I pulled it
No,
off.
actually, did he be in the Non Sequitur show? No, I don't think he showed up.
I don't think he showed up
I don't think
either.
it's
That was
I don't
Side
think it's on
10.
any
That was Side
Yeah,
10.
it's
the
never been on any of my
pre-sub.
channel.
So I brought it up here. It's kind of small.
Yay, thank you.
I can roll it up though.
So there's a few
That's
things
what
you
she
might
said,
notice
it's
about
small.
this.
Yeah, the fact I can't read it.
The first thing is the very top. The handle of this person at the very, very top is I hate Ilya Moon. Now,
for those who don't know, let's clear this out of the way real quick. Moon is one of the nicest, sweetest of people on the freaking planet. You know, she's like the female Nick Suter, just kind of thing. I mean, just a nice person.
she's very kind.
And a member of the
yes.
Shills.
Yes, and one of the shills. And so she was in that 5-hour hangout on Elusive Man's channel, where that apologetics argument was laid out. And she was talking about how she was a victim and she didn't want to be spoken to in this manner, and these people shouldn't speak for her. And what she decided to do after that hangout was she's been working on a project to let victims come out and speak their piece about what they have to say about something. All of the messages are being kept private, but she's kind of making sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, maybe a compilation of sorts to kind of talk about this in a more healthy manner than obviously the shit slinging that some people
You mean have mature dialogue?
Yes. And these people are making it more difficult, obviously, to have that conversation. But this is what this person sent her in retaliation. I know where you live, and I know your name. Then says name and state. Watch your back, bitch.
Jesus Christ.
And by the way, this is not that uncommon. A lot of my friends are getting things just like this. Some of my friends, who I'm not going to call out, actually had their friends and family from their Facebook. People were messaging them and threatening them. This is all because of this group.
Yeah, this is a legitimate threat.
This type of vitriolic hatred.
Yeah. Well, you'll notice that she got another message that said that this person claimed to be speaking for Fiona and Nate, saying that, hey, if you're actually getting these kinds of threatening messages, you should contact the police. Me and Nate and Fiona wouldn't stand for that. And that was Dee Dee. And these accounts, have you noticed that none of these people have publicly said anything about how this is unacceptable?
Because they
Only
won't,
in
because
private
it's all about,
through a third party. Because it's not about
and
that.
by the way,
they can't
Dee Dee,
be wrong.
do you know Dee Dee? Because Dee Dee is part of that whole group.
Yes. I know.
Okay.
Yes.
But so here's the thing. Again, none of these people publicly denounce anything, and they don't care. I will tell you right now, they do not give a flying fuck about victims. They do not care about anything but smearing me. That is their primary and only objective for the last 3 years of their lives has been dedicated to smear me. Now what's happening is there's collateral damage involved, because now you're getting involved with people that are even more nutters than they are. And now those nutters who thinks it's acceptable to send these kind of messages and to threaten victims and to shut them down and to send messages to their family. And this is one of many that's been going on.
Well, it's a matter of they're starting the fire, they're stoking the fire, and then letting people run. So they're essentially creating a habitat. They're creating a situation that will foster this kind of behavior without speaking out about it and allowing it to exist within their own ranks. A good example of that is Agrippa. Agrippa is a good example of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's threatening to dox people. He has, if I'm understanding, he has doxed people. He tried to go after certain people where they work. He tried to be able to call, and I have nobody that I work, So
yeah, he publicly went after Stewart, who's one of the Unirock crowd, who's aligned himself with them now.
So, I mean, these people, they will be doing vicious things.
And this is a threat. This isn't like, oh, I'm going to make a video exposing you. This is a
watch your back. When you say here's where you live, watch your back. That I take as a very, very existential threat. That is somebody who has the potential to kill you.
Yeah, this is on the far end. They're going to kill you, or they're going to try to kill you, or they're going to go after your work, or they're going to go after people close to you. They know where you are. They know where they live. and they're actively going to do something to you. That's the watch your back part.
Yep.
But I want people to see why this is why we take this stuff very seriously. This is why we take cyberbullying very seriously. This is why we call out
that.
This
is why doxing is a problem.
And doxing is important. But this is also why Billionaire and I Reds left this group, because this is the type of fostering of this is not, by the way, I don't want to make anybody so they don't think that Fiona or Nate sent this. No, but they foster an environment that allows for this kind of stuff, and they don't care. They know it does. They know it does. They don't care. As long as it affects me, or it affects Bullinator, or affects Reds, or affects Cheshire, or affects Sweetie, or any of my friends, they do not care.
They want it to. They want it to, and then they want to blame
That's
Steve
what the whole
for
goal
it.
was. Yes, they wanted to. They wanted to scare my friends. They've actively gotten my friends, and people. And by the way, I've had tons of people message me and tell me on this kind of stuff. You know, I'll talk to them. I'll be like, you know, what's going on? Oh, this person contacted me. Do you know this person? Every day I get that. Do you know this person? And why is this person saying this shit about you?
Expect the narrative to come forward that me and Steve are using her experience and the message she got to spin any kind of thing. No, or that we're treating her poorly because of it. No, I asked Moon if I could share this. I asked for this screenshot if it was okay for me to share this and for us to talk about this on air, because the last thing we wanted to do is draw extra unnecessary attention to it without her consent. So of course we talked to her about it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how she got it. I mean, so.
Yeah, naturally. So this person is again, their handle was at I hate Ilya Moon. And I know where you live, and I know your name, provides name and location. Watch your back, bitch. This is at the extreme a death threat, and at the least extreme a threat to harm, whether that be financial or physical.
Now, do you guys see where we're concerned and why that I've kind of opened up a little bit more, because I didn't care for 3 years coming after me.
And these people don't know what kind of mental state Ilya may or may not be right now in. Like, what if she's already like having issues at home? What if she's already got some kind of something going on? Like, people were coming after me when I was dealing with a roommate who was not paying their rent, and I didn't know where if I was gonna have a place to live.
Well,
so
you know who also
I have to worry about somebody's gonna come and hit me with their car. Like, these people don't care.
So sorry, who else recently who has been going through some stuff had their private DMs shared, and to try to ruin my friendship with them, by the way, failed miserably, backfired spectacularly. But there was also somebody else that one of my dear friends that people were going after, to try to get them to have a quarrel with me, or to have anonymity between them and I. It backfired. It backfired really bad. But they don't know the fact that this person has certain things in their life that going on that could have resulted in a catastrophic situation, a life or death catastrophic situation. They do not care. I mean, in fact, I can tell you right now, I am convinced, and this is, again, I cannot prove this to you, and this is unsubstantiated as fuck, but I'm going to throw it out there in case other people have heard similar. But I know, to me, I'm they will bet on people if they fucking will kill themselves or not. They don't care. I am convinced, without a doubt, that if somebody killed themselves, these people would be like, stupid fuck.
Yeah.
Especially if it was Steve.
I've seen it on web pages. I've seen them actually say this kind of shit.
If it were Steve, these people would be actively saying, "Good, he deserved it, the coward."
Yes. Yep. I have seen this on forums. I've seen it on web pages. I've seen it in various places. They are just visceral because they don't care. They're trying to get people to either kill themselves or to have emotional responses. And by the way, I'm not going to kill myself.
They're trying to bully Steve off the internet, and they're trying to bully anybody around Steve off the internet. At least that's their least goal.
Yeah. So what do you think, Egghead? I mean, have you demonstrated that there's an existential threat here?
Oh yeah, after reading that and all that type of shit, it's these people will stop at nothing, and honestly, never is enough. Like, even if they get one thing, even if they do get one thing, they'll just go right on to the next fucking person they think is a horrible liar person.
Yeah, there was
and I don't
somebody
know
who
if
said somebody made a tweet.
It's like a gigantic fucking like tree or like with Steve all the way up to the fucking top because like they had to basically pick off like the people that support him. Like you gotta go, all the way trying to get up to fucking Steve.
Yeah.
But even if they ever do successfully get Steve off the internet, it won't even matter because they'll probably move on to another fucking person.
Yeah, and by the way,
there's something to be said.
to my mods real quick.
Sorry.
Hey, one sec. To my mods real quick. If you click on a channel and they have no content and they're clearly just causing problems, just delete them. You don't need to have my permission. I'm not. And by the way, that people have said, well, a lot of people don't have avatars or content. Yeah, I agree. But if you don't have content, you don't have an avatar, or there's certain site things that will probably say this is a troll account. If they're talking shit and they're not listening and they just want to cause problems, you have my permission to get rid of them outright if they have zero content. Straight up. Those are not the people that I want.
If they're
I'm not here to
behaving
make a lot
in
of
this
subs.
way.
Yeah, I'm not here to make 50,000 subs on this channel. I want a core group of people that are critical thinkers. Agree with me, disagree with me, I don't give a fuck. But if you're going to be somebody that has no content and you're just going to be spewing shit in the live chat for the sake of spewing it to cause narrative and issues when you were talking about somebody's life, fuck you.
Yeah, there was somebody made a point on Twitter saying that, oh, these people just want to have a victory. They just want to say that, oh, look, we've won, and then yippee. But no, and they want to throw a party. But the thing is that's not the case. If we all said, okay, fine, you guys win, and dropped the subject entirely, they would keep going because that's not good enough for them. Steve and Reds did that 3 years ago. That's what they did. They were like, okay, whatever, I'm done. I don't want to have this conversation. You guys win, do whatever you want. That did not stop them. They have only gotten worse and more egregious. So the thing is that there is no being like, okay, well, we give up, fine. Because that's not going to make them happy. They don't care. That's just going to piss them off.
God, let me ask you, God, is it not true that for probably a good, I'm going to say anywhere between 1 and 2 years, in that ballpark, that I didn't even mention Fiona's name in public, and then all of a sudden she made a video about me out of nowhere and then claimed that I was somehow been bullying her? Is that true? Did God go to the bathroom?
God?
I'm sorry, did you ask me a question, Steve? What?
Yes, God. I said, okay, I said, I don't know the exact time frame. I'm going to say, but probably around between 1 year and 2 years that I never mentioned Fiona. I didn't involve her in anything. And then out of the blue, she launched a massive smear campaign against me, and then had the balls to say that I had been harassing her the entire time. Is that not true?
Sounds about accurate. Like, when did they leave? About June, about the same time I took over the Non Sequitur show, to be honest with you. In 2016.
But have I talked about Fiona until Fiona made a smear campaign against me? Was I bullying her? Did I mention her name in anything? Did I talk about her?
No. No.
So why would all of a sudden, after we left, then all of a sudden she thinks she found an opening to try to attack me and smear me, that she took advantage of that, which, by the way, backfired again spectacularly.
You found a thread on 4chan about us? Oh, God.
There's a thread on 4chan?
Yeah, the chest was moved.
Helios,
yeah.
Helios just said the thread on 4chan I found that was claimed Chess was Ilya and half a dozen other people, and a lot of posts which centered around taking bets on if they could drive Chesh to commit suicide.
Yeah, I'm not making this shit up, and they're not the only ones. Yeah. Other people have made. There's been more than you think. I remember back when the people were trying to.
Yeah.
People were trying at one time to have G-Man kill himself.
Oh my God!
I don't care.
Sweet made a point.
He's right.
Sweet Post said, I posted about suicide and they used it to attack me and gaslight me into thinking I was a bad person. They used it to try and hurt Nick back then. I just didn't fall for it, but someone else could have.
Who was that?
Sweet Heathen.
Oh, that's Sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried.
This is not...
Sweet wasn't here earlier, but real quick, I did kind of mention a little bit, Sweet, that I do owe them a lot of thanks because of them, Sweet and I probably wouldn't have the friendship that we do, because she said, okay, show me what you got. I'm going to be visiting this dude. I would like to know if he's a bad apple kind of thing. Protect me. And they had absolutely nothing. Like, hey, nothing. And then worse, when she didn't respond to that, they viscerally went after her. Viscerally went after her. These people are the ones that are the harassers. These people are the ones that are the bullies. These people are the ones that do not respect women. These are the ones that if you do not conform and you criticize them, they will hunt you down for the rest of your fucking life. Everything they've done is that they say about me is clear and utter projection. Everything.
Yeah. It's a matter of that basically everything that they have ever accused Steve of, they have been guilty of committing, and if they haven't committed it yet, they're going to, or they would if they were in Steve's position.
Right back.
Every single thing I've been watching. The other one is that one of the main reasons why this person was going after Ilya, and especially because they're on a fake account, is because they think she's me. They're trying to threaten me.
Wait, do you think so?
A lot of them, yeah. This one in particular, no, because they knew her. They knew her name.
Okay.
This one in particular, no. But the main reason they care about they're going after her and what she's done or said is because she talks to us. She's flat out said, "Me and her are friends," and because she's done that, she's made herself a target.
Okay, and
I don't know. Maybe not. She's made herself a target. But they've decided to target her.
Someone screen
projection
right now.
Get that. Screen cap that.
Projecting anyone.
I don't know if Moon's going to be continuing her project or not. I know somebody else has graciously tried to take it over, who says right now they don't care about the attacks if they get attacked. That changes real fast when you're viscerally attacked and your life is put under a microscope. Luckily, when people look into my background, and by the way, people have looked and they pulled up reports and they've done the whole 9 yards. The only thing they found was a bankruptcy from 2005 and possibly.
My favorite was when Agrippa tried to do it and he mistook you for a dancer in Australia.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. There's a ballet dancer named Steve McRae in Australia. Like I have not always known such a thing, and that people have said there was a narrative one time that I actually lived in Australia. That I have. There was a Steve McRae from Australia, and I don't think it's the same ballet dancer. But they were like
it was really funny
fraud that they did or something like that. I'm like, I've never lived in Australia. I've been there, been to Melbourne, Perth, Fremantle, but I've never lived there.
But yeah, these people.
See, they don't matter. They just throw this shit out there.
These people are just trying. And don't forget to like and share and crap. Share the video
and subscribe.
Subscribe for more.
Tell you what, how about this? If you want me to commit suicide, go subscribe to my channel.
Yeah. And buy her art, damn it. Buy Cheshire's art. And make her make her kill herself.
I think another hangout we might do one day is basically how do we go about combating this kind of stuff? What do we say to the Nate Brodys of the world, the Exiles of the world, the Fiona Robertsons of the world, the heretics of the world, the people that have fostering a narrative that is allowing people to actually get hurt and people to be threatened. And like I said, I think Cheshire makes the best point is, even though it sounds like it's, hey, you just need to like have a thicker skin, which by the way, again, we're not talking about me, but for them, you don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. There are people out there that might actually take drastic measures. And if the first suicide that happens, I know that we're going to be emotionally reeling from it. They're not going to care. And this is why when I say there's an existential threat, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not trying to
they'll
lay
care.
sympathy.
They're going to celebrate it.
You know what? I can't say that. Some of them might. Some of them won't. I don't know.
I'm sure
some of them probably
be
will.
all of them.
Well, I don't know Egghead well enough, but she seems like the kind of person who doesn't give a fuck at all, and she would be like, "Oh, great, that person deserved it." But some of the other ones, I think they would probably be bothered by it, but it would be like circumstantial. They'd be like collateral damage. Oh well, Steve's friend. He must be really hurt that his friend died.
That's a really good question. Steve, how old are some of these people?
Anywhere from their mid-30s to mid-50s.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so wait, so the people who are attacking you and Chesh are in their mid-30s to their mid-fucking 50s.
Yeah, there's
and
not
they think
kids.
I'm 17.
That's a pretty pathetic fucking
Egghead, one of them has a PhD in biology. Okay, one
That's
of
a
them
pretty
has a
fucking-
legit PhD in biology, and instead of spending their time educating biology, she has made it a lifelong mission to smear me. That's it.
Someone
Instead of promoting people in biology with your PhD, she has made it a lifelong mission to smear me. That tells you about their. What else? I mean, who does that?
I feel like that person should lose their PhD, because if they're all they're doing is if they have a fucking PhD, they're gonna be using all that knowledge to smear you. And 2, reality check, and 3, thrown into a mental asylum. Maybe, I don't fucking know. Jesus
there is
Christ.
something to be said for a lot of people think that the people who are trolling around on the internet, the people who are doing these kinds of things on the internet, are the younger generation. It's not. The people who have grown up with the internet have a better understanding and are way less vitriolic about it on the whole. These aren't teenagers. These aren't some stupid fucking kids coming to have conversation. You can tell by their speech. You can tell by what phrases they use and what kind of insults they're using. You can pretty much tell when they're from. That, and some of these people have channels, and you can go and see how old they are. These are adults. These are not children. No. They think I'm a child. They're full-grown adults saying I'm 17 and trying to, I don't know, destroy my 17-year-old life, I guess. I don't know.
You're 17 for life.
I'm 17 forever now.
Even when you're...
I heard somebody said I was 16, and I was like, oh shit, I'm getting younger.
Yeah, you're like Benjamin's
gonna go backwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Why do these people hate you so bad, Steve? Can I answer that one?
Well, can I? This mine's real short.
Can I answer it first, and then you can answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why they hate Steve so bad is he took this hard, solid, big chunk of logic and rammed it up in the place where the sun don't shine, and they just couldn't handle it, and they just can't get off of that experience that they had, and they just stuck with this forever hate boner that they don't know how to satisfy, and they can't release it at all, and until they get by Steve with the dick of logic again.
You know, there's truth to be had on that. Twofold. One, the biggest thing that I did was I dare speak up against them. And people know me that I speak up against bullies. I speak up against when I think people are wrong. And I dare do that to people that would like, who the fuck are you to speak up to us? They thought that I was getting too big for my britches, by the way. And they thought that I would be shut down and basically gone away like they did with other people before when this happened. They thought that they would try to eliminate me from the internet. This was their goal. They failed. Yeah. And this was 3 years ago or plus. And the whole logic thing, by the way, there's something to be truth to be had there, because like I said, myself, Ozzy Mandius, Ramses II, Alex Malpass, and Brooke Poole explained to people like Nate Brody and Heretic that their logic was flawed. This is not some subjective shit. This is objective logic, and Demi too, by the way. But we explained why their logic was incorrect. This is a PhD in logic. Alex Malpass explained to him that they were wrong. They developed such a hate boner for me because of that. Massive videos. Steve's wrong. Steve's wrong about this. He's wrong about Stanford Encyclopedia. He's wrong about agnosticism. Every single time they got the videos wrong. And finally, Bert Poole made a brilliant video showing why all of them are wrong. And he said it was like, hey, instead of going after Steve because of the logic and what he's telling about philosophy, which he's spot on correct about, go after him for why he believes what he believes, which is, by the way, a fair assessment. Spot on by Bert Poole. That's the kind of criticism and things like that, which I think is a very, very fair and something I wanted to talk about. But they were arguing logic, and I'm sorry, their logic was fundamentally wrong. And so they made massive amount of fatal mistakes in their reasoning. They didn't understand things like double negations. They didn't understand like predicate versus a proposition. They didn't understand scope errors. And so they could not handle this. It was all about the agnostic atheism thing, and they couldn't grasp why they were wrong. This is all what it stems to. And by the way, God is my witness. Again, praise to God here. God, am I not incorrect? Am I incorrect in this in any way?
No, actually, you're not. Which is the stupid part. Like they'll say things that are untrue about you. Shocker. like, oh, he's a what do they call that when you try to make people use your definition at all costs, otherwise they're wrong? Prescriptivist. No, you're not. You never said there wasn't more than one. You never said there wasn't more than one definition. The argument, the discussions never even got to that point, from what I recall.
Because they were too inept to even get to the basics.
Right, they're too inept to even understand your definition.
You were wrong at premise one. It's basically, it's like, they were wrong at premise one. Well, like Eric from Talk Heathen the other day, about last month, he said he was talking about me, and he called me a prescriptivist. And I talked to him. I said, dude, I'm not a prescriptivist. Let me show you why. And I showed him my citation, my straw man abatement list, right from www.greatdebateunity.com. I have all my positions, and I showed him. I was like, look, I'm not a prescriptivist, blah, blah. And he's like, I agree with you, Steve. We were wrong on that. I will correct it. He has subsequently not corrected on Talk Heathen, but I did talk about it with him personally because I have a cell phone number and we talk actually quite frequently. But he said he was wrong. He corrected it privately, but he has yet to, to the best of my knowledge, publicly correct that. But that is because people will run with this narrative. That's not true. I'm not a prescriptivist. Aaron Ross says the same thing. Matt Dillon says the same thing. They're wrong. I'm a descriptivist. So whatever.
Kawasa for 5 said, well, I wouldn't mind being smeared if it's some lotion and oil and stuff, but no with words.
I felt harassed, Kawasa. That's
failed at engineering for 2.
I'm just kidding.
Said for Ilya Moon, we are with you. And Helios for 5 said they experienced a logic hate fucking once, and now they're addicted and keep trying to get another logical hate fucking, and no one but Steve will satisfy. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
I am the apex. I am the apex. Yes.
Well, because that's the question, right? If they're so mad at you, why are they only mad at you and not like Malpass or Ozzy?
I don't know. I thought about that before. I really do, because I don't think it does any good to them, and that I continued with the videos.
Well, dealing with you isn't any good for them either, though.
Oh no, actually, it's been very beneficial to me because again, it showed everything I've said about these people to be true, and it's solidified my base and has made me some of the best friends of all I have. I mean, legit best friends of my life. Some of these people I love. But real quick, I'm curious here. A friend of mine, Joan, says, she says, check out Joe's latest video. She's implying Steve caused a suicide or attempted with cyberbullying. I don't watch Joe's stuff because Joe is sipping tea with Joe is one of these people that feeds with this narrative. I blame her for what happened to Moon. I blame her when any of my friends or family are harassed. I blame sipping tea with Joe, Nate Brody, in that group. But what do you mean I caused a suicide? Who's this? News to me. So if anybody's got any information on that, because I don't watch Joe's stuff. I did this.
I'm gonna have to open Twitter now, aren't I?
They may be
flooded with message.
They may be trying to spin the Bill Ludlow situation. That's the only thing I can think of.
That wasn't a suicide.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I just got notification from Rob Lee. Says here you go.
Oh God! That's science first. By the way, first of all, hang on. Before you do, that's science first. The guy that basically berated Cheshire in Defango's video on his channel.
You mean the guy that I logically kicked the shit out of the other day?
You logically kicked the shit out of him. So what does he have to say?
He said, as you're streaming with McRae right now, why don't you ask him why he did or said nothing about the threat of violence against me that appeared in his chat last week? These things being said to Moon are deplorable, but when it was under his nose? Question mark.
There's a qualifier there. There's a butt.
To Moon are horrible. But
what? There's a qualifier there. Okay.
So please, sorry.
He posted a question. He posted like a picture with it. So I'm just like looking for the threat of violence in this. It's like,
yeah, I don't know what he's talking about because he's not welcome around my channel. He's not. He is a piece of shit. He's deplorable, and he's the part of the cause of why he's. Yeah, he said he was done with it. By the way, so that's a lie. But I guess all of us say we're done with it and then we come back. So I want to say it's a lie because people change their minds. So that's not a lie because I done the same thing and I know it's.
It's a lie by their standard. It's a lie by their standard, not by our standard.
But he's one of the ones that feeds in this narrative that has fostered an environment that has led to the hostilities like this to Moon and to friends and family because he doesn't care. He legit doesn't care. Those people are not allowed around my channel.
Jesus Christ.
Wait. Steve's. Wait. Sipping Tea is telling her followers that Steve won't stop until somebody kills themselves. No. How about you just tell Sipping Joe, just shut the fuck up about me. Never talk about me. Never talk about my friends. I'll never talk about her.
Here's the tweet so you guys can see that I'm actually reading off a tweet that exists. Or did exist. I don't know if
I want no harm to come to anybody. I want this group to go the fuck away. This is why I left them 3 years ago. And Joe has embraced them.
And here's the I'm utterly done with Steve McCrae. His bullshit and his gaggle of sycophants. He said he believed a convicted rapist over their victim. He called him an honorable man. That's all there is to it. I never want to hear the loser's name ever again. Then why are you here messaging people about it?
And by the way, I never called any victim. I never said a victim was lying. That is an outright lie. Which, by the way, he was called out on. Cheshire shoved that up his ass.
I love how he said.
And the honorable thing had to do with the fact of how he approached auditing. But this, of course, context makes no difference for these people.
Yeah. In the same way that uni can be dishonorable but still have had honor in the military, the exact same way can somebody who was or is convicted of rape in the past can be honorable about something else. These two things are not mutual, like they're not related. You can have honor in one thing and be dishonorable. Like science first, you're honorable in that you had the balls to actually come on to that hangout, but you're dishonorable in your argumentation and in the way you carry yourself online.
She's saying you don't go after men, you go after innocent women. Have they met Unirock?
Or
I go after Unirock? Or Kyle? Do I sue? I mean, this narrative that I somehow go after women is absolutely mortifyingly contrary to feminism, because if you're going to use gender as a shield, then what the fuck are you doing in these conversations? I will treat Egghead or Cheshire exactly the same when I have a conversation or a dialogue with them. I'm not going to give any more credence to Cheshire's argument because she's a woman.
He's going to be
unless
nicer
it's something maybe that only
Egghead.
women would probably have a little more experience with. I'll give her, like, for example, if Cheshire starts talking about menstruation, she's probably gonna know a little bit more about that topic than Egghead, right? You know, she's doing a whole show called That Time of the Month. But you know, you cannot use that as a weapon, at which Joe does. That is demeaning to women. This is what we're saying. Joe sets back feminism and stuff like that when she does stuff like that. I usually have a lot more women around me. I've got along with women most of my life.
Steve's chat is full of women. Yes. Correct.
Joe lies. Joe, this is narrative. Because Joe's heard that before.
Mr. Atheist and GE are apparently women.
Thank you, Helios. Apparently so, right? Yes, exactly. I mean, for fuck's sake. And this is what I'm saying. You know, how do we prevent this kind of crap? Because again, I don't care that's affected me. I've never asked people to stand for me, but now it's affecting people in my life that I care about, and that's a little bit of a different situation. Because I've told people, I will be triggered more if you go after my friends than you go after me.
Yeah, they're fostering and encouraging this kind of behavior. And by being like, oh well, we're not going to speak on the matter, you're not being neutral.
I don't let men in my hangouts. Yeah, I don't know how Egghead got in here. He's not a real man.
Yeah, I'm not a real man.
It's okay. I'm not a real woman.
You're more like a dog with that shot collar thing going on. Just
God,
keep you online.
Why would anyone use that on their dog?
I don't know. I think it's abhorrent. Yeah, I really think that's abhorrent. Now, if you want to use a shot collar on you, whatever gets you by, man. But
you can consent to it. The dog can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo. Yeah.
I just want to do it just to have fun.
But what do we do in those situations? Like I said, Joe's over there running narrative. Again, not affecting me, but she's causing harm because of that narrative to people that I care about. So how do we fix that? I'm curious. I like know what are some possible solutions?
That would be a good idea, and I think we should have that discussion on another hangout, because at that point we need to let the chat respond. Come message us, leave comments in the chat, and we'll go over some of them next week. And we'll give you guys like a week to think of what strategies would be good to deal with this kind of behavior. How do we protect each other
That's a good episode next
from
week.
these
I think,
kinds of messages, from these kinds of situations, and what do we do to sort of insulate ourselves and people who are new to these situations, like Egghead was. Egghead was new coming into this yesterday. He had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. I've known Egghead for a while now. He's obviously he's been around Drunken Peasants. I'm on Drunken Peasants twice a month.
Honestly, to be honest, when I before yesterday, I would always see you two like go at these type of people, and to be honest, I always thought these were people like who were fans of Kyle's. Kyle, that's literally what I thought. That's literally what I thought.
No, they
found out
don't like Kyle either. They're not fans of Kyle that much. Yeah.
Okay, it's like then I realized, these are just people that legitimately have a hate boner for Stephen Cheshire. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Well, they only have a hate boner for Cheshire is because two things. One, she associates with me now, and two, she can actually shove their shit up their ass, and they don't like that.
Yeah,
they don't like an independent woman.
I pulled. They really aren't impressed with me. I pulled this magical thing called Player 3 has entered the game.
Oh, good lord!
They weren't expecting her.
I basically came out of left field, and they were not prepared for me.
A new player has arrived.
And it's I knew they were going to go after Chesh. That's fine. Chesh can handle herself. This is why I've never really worried too much about Chesh. No offense, but when they started going after other people, then that are not entered the game.
I mean, that's probably the reason why nobody came to quote unquote defend me or speak out when Katie's husband was talking about my vagina.
Although I still think there's a piss poor excuse that they didn't.
It is, given what their standards are supposed to be. Yeah. It's hypocritical based on their standard because it's me, I don't matter enough, or I'm strong enough to deal with it by myself. Isn't an excuse to let me or to leave me out to dry. That's not the same thing.
Did you see the tweet that Demi? Because I said my prediction is Demi's going to suck up to Mr. Atheist and start running a transphobe narrative, and she tweeted that to Mr. Atheist, apologizing, saying he was absolutely right about everything, and that he was a great he was a great atheist and a great content creator. And she's going to start running. Oh, Steve's a transphobe. Okay, now it's like a cycle. It's like they just run through the gambit of these things.
Defended me. We're talking about a very specific situation and a very specific group of people. We're not speaking in general. We're sounding in general because we're not dropping names, but we're talking.
I'm referring to a group of content creators, about 20 people in a DM group that we're all in. That didn't. Not one of them made her feel safe. Not one. One tried, not to drop names, but if there ever comes out that one of them actually, I think, maybe kind of tried, and he's a great guy, but I think a lot of people, what happens is nobody wants to say anything, because if they do, now all of a sudden they're no longer part of the clique, and they're going to get ostracized, and they're going to be treated differently. And I've had people tell me this. Steve, I support you in private, but I don't support you in public. I've seen it. I get it.
If one of them comes out and supports you in the public on Facebook, they'll be later they will be labeled as a freaking traitor.
Well, look at she lied. Nobody stood up for me on any of that. Nobody stood up for me when she falsely accused me of from that group I'm talking about. Nobody from that group stood up to me when she falsely accused me of sexual harassment, or then she wanted to mass flag my channel. I got, that's just too bad. But if that's
too bad.
You got nothing. Man. You got ignored. You got ghosted. You got nothing. Yep. No, I'm legit. You got nothing. But if somebody said to look, we're gonna mass flag, like Mr. Atheist channel, and we're gonna accuse him of sexual harassment, you would have 5,000 fucking atheists out there in protest for 5 years. Don't tell me otherwise.
I just got a message from somebody who says, "Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, I was getting a phone call. Yeah, apparently Heretic's after me now too." Oh yeah, because he did that video titled "The Hobo Whisperer," which I actually thought was.
I did not realize that was supposed to be for you. Like I said, I didn't watch his stuff. I've just seen that before, but I
didn't watch it either. I just saw the title and thought the title was actually pretty funny.
So Science First just replied again, saying, "Thanks for that. Not sure how you missed the threat of violence, though. Hopefully, Steve will action that and ban this person. That way, he'll prove he has zero tolerance for such things."
I don't know.
I'll send you a picture of it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll send you a picture of what he's talking about.
Apparently, he's talking about Kilo Doggy 1 saying "eye for an eye," mean comment.
Actually, I think it's there's also one underneath it that said Hawk Skull.
Hawk Skull.
UK.
Based on S First's accent, so Science First, he's within 30 miles of me. Made me want to hunt them down and subject them to many acts that could get me arrested last night. Made me want to, I am going to.
We all have wants. Yeah, we all have things that may want us to go do something. That's not a direct threat, you idiot.
The threat that Ilya has is,
oh my God,
I know where you are. I know your name. Watch your back.
Yeah.
This is somebody saying, you're making me want to punch you in the face. Doesn't mean I'm going to punch you in the face. That is not oh my God.
Like, here's what I say. I've made video responses to many fucking people on my channel. Every single one of the people that I've made video responses to made me want to go like try to find where they live and go say, "Hey, what's up? Middle fingers, bitch." But do I do it? No. I don't know the personal information. I don't know their fucking whereabouts. I don't do that shit.
This person also says, from his accent, he sounds he might be within 30 miles of me. He's within 30 miles of me.
That's a lot of fucking mites.
Based on his accent, you can move to anywhere in the country. This is not a credible threat in any way. Based on his accent, he's within 30 miles of me. Well, they haven't found out where you are. They haven't found out who you are. They know your name because you put it out there, but this person hasn't gone to look for your information or is saying they know your information. Made me want to hunt them down and subject them to many acts that could get me arrested last night. Well, what acts? Lots of acts could get you arrested. Some of them are not actually harmful. And
but do you see somebody doing this?
Which is like, that's more just me making fun. But made me want to is different than I am going to.
Yeah, Chesh, I mean, this is Science's versus inept mentality. He is comparing that statement to a direct threat of, oh, watch your back. Here's your address. I know where you live. To somebody that's clearly of unstable mentality. And then he tries to put him what somebody said to him on that level. This is the fuckery that we deal with. I tell anybody who's watching this, if you think that Science First, what was said to him, is on any comparable level of what happened to Moon. By the way, and I'm not going to go to great detail. Moon has some things going on in her life that she doesn't need that kind of
vitriol.
Vitriol. By the way, she has come out before and said to talk about her assault. So things like that are triggering because she has been violently assaulted before. This is unacceptable. Science First, you are a piece of shit. You are a despicable, garbage level human being. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, man.
He's watering it down to turn himself into a victim as much as he can. So that and it harms people who are actually being
victim.
Threatened. Because now, if somebody's calling the police for something like that, the police aren't going to take it seriously. So if somebody calls the police on something like this, the police are going to be like, "Oh, whatever, it's online. It's not a credible threat."
It's not even
and
actionable.
Then somebody dies.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. We're going to probably have to end this. We're in a few minutes here. I know producers done.
So what do we do about it?
What do we do about it is the next show, I think. And I want people to seriously think about that.
Please give us your comments and how you think this is a good and interesting discussion. How do you guys think we can protect ourselves, people in our community, people that are just new and coming into the community and who might not know this information? Like, how do we address something like this? How do we prevent it from happening in the future to somebody?
And
send us your comments. Share the video.
I'm gonna put the
like if someone is obviously doing that, this is just my take on it, my opinion. Try to at least be there and try to shut that shit down as best you can.
Thank you. I was going to say something like that too, by the way. I put the link to join the Great Debate community on Facebook. We are on Facebook. We haven't done much with it. We're going to be building it up this year and having conversations on that channel. So please come join us. It's not for petty vitriolic shit. It is heavily moderated. It is to talk about politics. It's to talk about theology. It's to talk about philosophy, science. People can have their opinions and disagree, but it's not going to be like other groups where you can argue by meme, or you can go leave a ghost, post, or you can, it's just you're gonna have to check it out. But it's very similar to the way the G Plus was ran. But if you want to come join us on the Great Debate community, there you go. But I think Egg, you're right on. Look, the most we can do as right now, until we can actually come up with a better plan next week, is when I say speak out against. One of the ways to speak out against is just to block these people straight up, just one and done.
Or if you see targeted harassment, actually report it.
I am fine with that too.
That's another option.
If you see people that are targeting people to harass them, I think it's perfectly fine to report those accounts.
Report the
behavior, and I don't take that lightly, but I've never said otherwise. I have done myself when I think there's targeted harassment. It's very far and few between, but when it comes to people like Science First and other people that have actually, I think, targeted people to harass them, then whatever. I mean, but I think the biggest things right now
people
is
that don't understand
to block
that no
these
means
people.
no.
But yeah, no means no. I'm not going to games with these people. It'll never happen. And all they've been doing is go after harass my friends and family. Well, their families. I mean, they have my family, but my daughter was brought up just recently. You know who said anything about it? Nobody from that side. Not a goddamn fucking person said a shit thing.
Because they have no fucking morals on their end. They have no fucking. They have like nothing's off limits to them.
And somebody can say, "Well, you brought up Katie Joy's son." No, I really didn't, and neither did Cheshire. And if you think otherwise, where's the evidence for that? Because that's not what happened. You're twisting exactly what happened. People, I would never use a kid as a weapon.
There's also something to be said that these people, if we behaved in the way that either one we did, or two, in the way that they actively behave, they would not be able to handle it. The way
they wouldn't tolerate it either.
No. Well, the thing is like, if we're getting threats like this on the regular, and their response is, oh, but this person said they wanted to maybe hit me. So what if somebody was actually threatening Science First? If he can't handle somebody saying that you're frustrating me and it makes me want to punch you in the face. If he can't handle somebody saying that in his direction about him in a chat on the side, how do you think they would handle a credible threat like the one that Moon's gotten?
I don't think they know how to. I don't think they have coping skills.
They cannot handle the way that they behave towards other people.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So anyways, leave me some messages on what you guys think so far, and we'll get some ideas like for next week tonight. Like I said, around 5 or 6 o'clock, we'll do the questions for Kyle thing with Dead Kennedy in Space. You're welcome to join us if you're available.
All right, I'll see what I have planned for that. I don't think I'll have anything planned for tonight. One of the things I will point out that made me laugh too, and I'm still laughing about it to this day, or to this morning actually. Last night, someone said I was quote unquote white knighting for Cheshire.
We have a video on white knighting. Go watch it. Yeah.
How could you possibly be white knighting for me when they came to you?
I don't know. The funny thing is, I love that. I love the comment so fucking much. I laughed at it so hard, all the way from when I got it when I was at the movie theater, all the way heading home. That the moment I pulled up my computer, I started photoshopping my logo, and I just put like a little knight's helmet onto my fucking logo.
Aww.
It's
Helios,
funny.
It's super. I saw it. It's super cute. Helios for 10 said, I must also propose that we need to be cautious to not sacrifice the soul of our community to protect ourselves. We have to protect with caution, but we cannot allow knee-jerk overcorrections. Yes, we don't want to shut down conversation. Field and Engineering also. Chesh just, what? HF'd?
But I really want to quick these. I want to tell people these are not honest interlocutors. You could shut down communications with them. They've already demonstrated they're not honest interlocutors.
Oh my God, Evers! He just responded again. TBH, considering McRae thinks convicted rapist and accused child rapist Earl David Warden is an honorable guy, I couldn't be happy to hear him repeatedly say, "I'm a piece of shit."
I have a question for Science First.
Well, he's a piece of shit.
How
and by the way, real quick,
how do you know whether or not?
Real quick, once again for the dummies in the back, David was honorable the way he conducted his accounting with the police. And by the way, he's been a lot nicer to me than Science First ever has been.
I would like to point out, I was actually in that call.
Science First, in my opinion, has conducted himself better in a conversation than a convicted rapist. I mean, that's just fucked up, dude.
Chess just hate fucked Science First with logic again. Failed it again. I would like to point out real quick that I was actually in the call, like the police auditing call video with Steve, and Earl David Warden treated me better than Science First ever has, including in live calls.
A convicted rapist treated her better than you did, Science First. What did that tell you? And by the way, she is a victim, and you treated her like garbage. What does that tell you? That so you had taken a higher, mighty moral high ground. Yeah, okay.
The additional thing to that, and the additional thing to that is I asked Science First in that hangout, how much of Earl David Warden's content have you seen? The answer was 0. How can you possibly know whether someone is honorable or not outside of their conviction, and even including their conviction, if you've never spoken to them and never heard what they've had to say?
Or wanted to give a shit about what the topic actually was, which was First Amendment auditing. I'm not anybody's cheerleader. I'm not Dave's fucking cheerleader. I wasn't going on crusades to demonstrate whether he was innocent or guilty. I don't give a fuck one way or another. I really, honest to God, don't. It's not have a non-factor in my life.
He was convicted. I had him on. Yeah.
I had him to come on to talk about First Amendment auditing, dude. That's it. That's the fuck it. And you guys made it such an issue. Thank God that you did, because you exposed yourselves. But now it's affecting people of real life, like Moon and Chess, who both were victims, and other people as well. You are disgusting. Science First.
And keep in mind that we're talking about a situation where a conviction isn't enough because the judicial system is flawed. A conviction isn't enough to decide whether or not somebody is honorable. There are people who have been convicted of things that they have not done.
Mm-hmm.
Science First has no leg to stand on because he hasn't done any of the research. He's talking out of his ass because he's a drone for fucking Fiona.
Yeah, I know he's a drone for Fiona. And by the way, real quick, I think it was Iliad was going to also do a project with people that have had false convictions. There was somebody in our community who lost their dad to 5 years to a false conviction. Now, I'm not claiming one way or another whether Dave was convicted falsely or not. I don't give a fuck at this point. I just don't. I'm not his goddamn cheerleader. Okay, like I said,
go talk to him about it if you want to deal with that. Yeah.
Go play with him if you want. I don't give a shit. It's just ridiculous. This whole rape apologist stuff has always been one big smear campaign. We know this now, Science First. We know that you've caused a lot of the pain from other people. And I hope to God that this community eventually holds people like you accountable for it. Because the first person that kills themselves because of people like you, then they're going to start. That's after the fact. That's too late at that point. You're causing damage to people that have harmed in their lives to begin with. People that have suffered. You're causing the damage to it, not me. I'm the one that has been treating these people with respect and trying to give people a platform like Moon.
Oh my God!
You know how many people stripped of Moon? It wasn't you guys. It wasn't you.
You saw what he responded to, right? He just responded. He just responded. Is she serious? How can I know he's not honorable? He's a fucking rapist.
Oh, your point is so missed. We're talking about his auditing when it comes to the auditability, when it comes to how he treats police auditing. Because I know a lot of police auditors, right, that would actually call the police in order to make it a video, right? I like the way he conducts his audits. Is that okay?
Here's the.
And by the way, he was nicer to Chess than you were.
Here's the breakdown. Have people been falsely convicted? Yes or no? If you're honest, the answer is yes. So does that mean somebody who's convicted could be an honorable person in either still in that aspect because they were falsely convicted or in some other aspect of their life? Yes or no? By Science First's own example in the way he's conducted himself in live streams, the answer is yes. You can be honorable in one way and you can be completely a dishonorable piece of shit in another way. You can be honorable and dishonorable at the same time in different aspects.
I would like to remind people that Kyle was convicted for breaking and entering and cocaine possession, and I started a channel with him. Under their logic, I'm a cocaine apologist and a breaking and entering apologist.
Mm-hmm.
He also
under their own reasoning, And nobody said shit about that.
He's also tweeting live. He's saying harassment and threats are not acceptable, but before you get on your high horse accusing others of not condemning these actions, check yourself. Here's a message that appeared last week by a person who threatened to come to my home and do illegal things to me. Silence. That's not what they did,
for the love of
dumbass.
That's not what I said. You lied. What's Resurrect's favorite saying? That's not what it says, you slanderous bitch.
Yeah, that's not what it says. There's another part to that. What he's trying to do is he's trying to use our argument because it works so well against him. So he's trying to use it and he's misusing it. I'm not comparing at all. I'm testing if Steve has zero tolerance policy for it. He doesn't threats of violence are fine in his chat. Just keep them vague. That's not what that. No.
He's wrong at premise 1. Okay.
Science First is giving me a fucking headache. God damn it.
You do not go forward. Do not.
This
move
is why we're like just fucking
$200.
block. It's such a waste.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just go to jail.
When you're wrong at premise 1, you're done, and then I just say block them. Right, 1 and done. Block. And by the way, Chess, you've released your block list. Should I release mine? I have it, by the way.
I say go ahead.
It's like 250 people.
I have a ton.
I gotta just click that and it blocks everybody. But I mean, I don't really care one way or another. People can see who I block. But there's an option where you can just click it and it'll block all the same people.
Yeah, that's what's on mine. Yeah. Kawasa for 5 says cheshploitation.
Cheshploitation.
But anyways, we gotta wrap this up. I know it's getting way too long, so I apologize.
Yeah, this is getting long.
All right, guys. Thanks for this. Again, see you guys tonight about 5
like and share and stuff. Give us your opinions and your thoughts about how we should deal with this situation, how we should move forward with it. Leave it in the comments. You can send it on Twitter and talk about it. This is going to be hopefully we can take all this garbage and create something positive and constructive out of their bullshit.
And last but not least, if you leave a comment and it's going to deal about narrative and rape apologetics, you're just going to get removed and blocked. You're done. You're not even going to one and done. I'm over it. I don't accept narrative. If you have a real channel, you're not an avatar with no content. But if you have an actual channel and you got something legit, make it worthwhile to be a legit comment, okay? But if you start running narrative, forget it. You're just done. And by the way, I don't give a fuck about Warden. I don't care. Don't ask me anything about Warden.
Yeah, how about if you're going to make a claim, put the evidence for your claim in your comment right out the gate so we don't have to fucking ask for it.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice. Yeah, that's the worst thing too. People, here's you lied. Okay, about what? Oh, it's out there. No, provide the evidence with your comment. Or if you have a narrative comment without any evidence, you're just going to get removed and blocked in perpetuity. I'm just telling people right now. I mean, it's not nothing against them, but it's just a time waster, and I don't want to waste my time. So, anyways, guys, good night. Get out of here. Good night, Egghead.
Bye.
Thank you, Egghead.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.